What's up, everybody? We're back again with some more help for the people. Welcome to the Tazz Yahsinni Show.
About the moon, I wrote about things in the sky that go boom. I wrote about death, I wrote about life. I wrote in the morning, afternoon, and at night. I constantly search for new ideas. I talk to my elders, my friends, and my peers. I study astronomy, history, and religion. My analytical mind is constantly on a mission, struggling and striving for the perfect poem, bracing myself for the perfect brainstorm. The more that I write, the more that I note. My best poem yet is yet to be wrote. Yeah.
Peace, love, and salutations to everybody in the building. Thank you for joining us one more time. We have a great one again. I want to apologize before we get ahead of anything and let the people know I had some technical difficulties with my computer, and that's why the last couple of shows weren't able to be put together or whatever. But we're back in effect. We're doing our thing. Sister Yasini and I are doing our thing. Expect a lot more contact coming. But today we have the brother Shawn today one more time. He gonna be explaining a lot. He gonna be breaking it down. He gonna be breaking it down, and he's gonna be giving us the real deal, the real spill. So we gonna learn today, and make sure that you grab your pen, paper. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, so you could get everybody involved. You know what I mean? So we appreciate you for being here. Before we even get started, Brother Shawn, thank you for joining us. You know, it's always a pleasure having you here. Can you tell the people real quick who you are and where they can find you at?
Uh, my name's Sean. I'm just out here trying to make it and figure things out, trying to correct some wrongs and trying to help some people. So you can find me at Boss Mafia LLC on TikTok. The school will be coming soon, so you could just subscribe to it and go on there and learn.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you so much for being one more time with us. But you know, we do have also the goddess herself, the Empress Yasini. So, Yasini, thank you for joining us. Sis, peace and love. Can you tell the people who you are, where they can find
Absolutely. Yahsinni of Yahsinni in the House on YouTube. That's my primary channel. You can also find me as Yahsinni University on my second YouTube channel. Also, YahsiniUniversity.com. I gotta take care of this right quick. Yeah, that never happens. If it don't stop, I would toss it across the room. Anyway,
you?
YahsiniUniversity.com is my website. That's where you can find Tazz Studio Productions at YahsiniUniversity.com. You can find you can find Simply Stone, my jewelry store, at YahsiniUniversity.com. Also,
Most
I'm
definitely.
I'm gonna mute right now and go take care of that because
Go ahead, sis. Go in ahead and get
it's not gonna stop this show.
yeah.
I already know. Look for me on Facebook as Denise Grant. I think it just shut off. Okay. And so yeah, it's good to be with you, Taz. Nephew, is always good to see you. I'm so glad that you give us your time the way that you do to come out here and let's help wake these people up because that's what you gotta see on the Taz and Yahsinni show. Everybody in the chat already know we're not fucking around.
Well, we do have some early birds in the house. So just to address the first responders, we do have Amber Gaucher in the building. She says peace, peace to the Empress, peace to the Goddess. Thank you for being here.
Amber.
We have Tribe Ties in the building. Thank you for being here, brother. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the show. We also have Nathaniel Bay. He says, "Let's go." Yeah, he was right about the last show with brother Shawn. So we have Jasmine in the house. She said peace, and we have Yasini in the comments as well, giving peace and love to everybody in the chat. So, brother, with that said, uh, defeating the credit bureaucrats. What can you tell us? Where should we start? Is there what new information brings you to the channel today?
Um, I just really wanted to talk about credit. Like I read some stuff. I've been just digging into stuff, so I was like, hell, let's bring it to some people, whoever want to hear it. So the credit bureaus are privately owned companies. So you have the right to report your own credit. Um, you basically consent to them reporting your private information. Uh, you don't necessarily consent, but you don't tell them that they can't report it. So you consent. The other whatever company you're dealing with, they give them your consent to furnish your private information. So I just wanted to go into a little bit about like basic credit repair. I know some people had some questions about stuff that they were trying to get rid of and trying to change on the last time we had a show. So I was like, let's go over some of the things. Um, so first, if you want to clean your credit report, the first thing you want to do is you want to get rid of all names except for one name, and you want to get rid of like all your other addresses except the address that you currently stay at. The credit bureaus, your accounts are tied to your addresses. This is why every time you report an address at one account, that address will add to your credit report with that account. So if you want to get rid of that account, it will be a lot easier to get rid of that account if you get rid of that address, because that address is what's tying it to you. This is your address and it's your account. So just get rid of it. You can dispute it online, or you can just send them a letter saying, hey, this is my name and this is my address. Remove all other information on my credit report that says otherwise. Like remove all other spellings, remove all of it. And I mean, they should remove it. With the system, what a lot of people got to kind of understand is if you don't say something, you kind of get screwed. For one, For two, it's baked on the fact that people are incompetent and people aren't willing to go through their administrative process to get their remedy. So a lot of companies, when sending them these letters and sending them these things, and a lot of them are just going to ignore you and act like you didn't send them anything. So you got to start understanding how you want to move in that situation. Do you want to put a lien on them? Do you want to sue them? Do you want to whatever? With the credit bureaus, the best way to get remedy is to sue them in small claims court. Majority of the time, they're going to settle, and then they'll pay you whatever. Each state small claims court is different, but usually it's anything under $10,000. Anything over $10,000, you're going to have to go to a higher court. So you got to just find out what it is in your state, wherever you're at. You find out how much it is, how much small claims court is. But there's penalties and stuff that you can charge them they're outlined in the law that you could just read, and it says this can range from $1,000 to $5,000. Just charge them $5,000, or charge them, if it's like 15 things, just charge them $1,000 each and try to keep it under $10,000 and then sue them for it. All right, so after you get one name and you get one address, it's better if you have one job too, because if you just have one job, it shows stability. It shows that you've been at this job for a while, even though you might not have been at that job for a while, but you want to just have one name, one address, and one thing reported on there. All right, so hard inquiries. Hard inquiries that aren't tied to an account are by law, they're fraud, right? Since you're the original consumer, okay, consumer is a natural person, right? A consumer isn't in commerce. So you got to kind of understand the meaning of words and start understanding the definitions, because every word like has its own meaning, and saying the wrong word in a sentence will completely change the meaning of that sentence. So just like, let's take driving, for instance. There's driving and then there's traveling. One is commerce, one isn't commerce.
Fact.
If you're driving, you need a driver's license. Technically, you're working. You're driving for money. If you're traveling, you don't need a driver's license. You don't need any of that. You don't need it, right? But you got to know how. I wouldn't say just start driving without identification. You should have identification, but that's just the different words. Like, words mean things. So consumer means a natural person. The consumer is operating for the benefit of him and his family, or her and her family, or whoever in their family. Like they all that, like they're operating for their family. You want to be a consumer, you want to identify yourself as a consumer. When we go through the law, so it will basically state out like what consumers are and some of your consumer rights. Is what I call consumer rights. All right, so since you're the original consumer, they're not supposed to deny you for credit. You're extending them credit, right? They're not extending you credit. You're extending them credit by your Social Security card. Your Social Security number and your Social Security card is, by definition, it's a credit card, and I'll show you where some of that stuff is here in a moment. But your Social Security card, by definition, is a credit card. So when you give someone your Social Security number, it's pretty much the same as you giving them your credit card number. Like, you're giving them access to that account. You're giving them access to your Social Security account when you give them that Social Security number. So then they can make bonds against the instruments you signed. If you don't know what instruments are, go back and look at the last one and just study up on instruments. But they can make bonds against the instruments that you sign. And once you give them your credit card, value has been given, money is being made, even if they deny you. It's just a matter of, if you know that they can deny you or not. They're not supposed to deny you. So since they can't deny you, any hard inquiry is evidence of fraud if it's not tied to an account. You can just call Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You can call any of them and you can be like, hey, I want to dispute these hard inquiries that's not tied to an account. They're on my consumer report and it's evidence of fraud. I wasn't extended credit. Please remove them, and they'll remove them. within 24 hours. Like it'll, by the time you hang up the phone, if you hang up the phone and call back in like 2 or 3 hours, they'll be gone. Like the hard inquiries will be gone. Oh, by the way, this is not financial advice. Do your own education.
I'm glad you mentioned that, brother, because just to
Disclaimer, disclaimer up.
information was so good. I was getting caught up in the moment or whatever. But let's just make sure that the family understands. For one quick second, we're gonna get right back to it. All right, but just a quick disclaimer for everybody out there, so you cannot come back and say, well, you know what, Shawn, you told me. No, Shawn didn't tell you nothing. The Tazz Show didn't tell you nothing. Yahsinni didn't tell you anything. All we are doing is presenting you with some information that you could utilize to go research yourself, and you make the decision if you want to involve your entity or not. Do you want to put your name, your legal name into this, and do you want to do this? You have to weigh out your pros and your cons. We can't do that for you. If you do it because somebody said so, then with all due respect, that's very, very foolish. But the material and information contained, not a PowerPoint, but on the PowerPoint is for general information purposes only. You should not rely upon the material or information about to be presented as a basis for making any business, legal, or any other decisions. The Tazz Show and its affiliates are not legal advisors or consultants. Please make sure that you consult a certified legal advisor like a lawyer for further advice. All right. So now we got that out the way, brother. You were saying the Social Security card. Now the Social Security card it's a credit card, brother.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far into that right now. Like when I start showing you the codes and stuff, I'll go more into that.
Oh, okay.
Someone said they're having an issue. There's different factors that go into your credit that they don't tell you about, and there's deeper credit scores that they can see on their side that you won't see. I believe Experian will show you these credit. You have a credit score for cars. You have a credit score for credit cards. You have a credit score for personal loans. You have a credit score for mortgages. Like you have multiple credit scores, and they put it together and they give you your FICO score, which is an average of all these scores. So just having a good credit score will not get you credit. And it's just not what they boom. You got to have a good score. A good score will not get you credit. You need to have at least 10 positive accounts reporting on your credit. That could be closed accounts, that could be open and active right now, but there need to be 10 positive ones reporting on your credit.
Okay.
Like that's
and for you
credit.
to have a good status under the credit.
Say it one more time.
And that those 10 accounts will help you have like a good status in your credit.
Yeah, because
above maybe.
The way credit works, they just want to see that you can handle debt.
Okay.
So the longer you handle debt, a lot of people think if I pay off all my bills and pay off all my credit, I'm good. I can get whatever. Like, no, because now you're not handling debt. Banks want to lend money. They're not supposed to keep certain assets. So they want to give money. They want to give it out. Now, people get discriminated against based on certain things, but they want to do this. Actually, banks will deal with you more if you're the type of person that's pulling out $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 versus if you're the type of person that's pulling out $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000. So you got to kind of understand how debt and credit works. Like on your credit score, you need at least 10 positive. There need to be different types of credit. So they can't be like, you can't go get 10 credit cards and be like, oh, I'm good, or go get 10 loans. Like you need to get a couple loans, you need to get a couple credit cards, you need to get a couple cards like paid off. This is why it takes people years and years and years to build the credit, because you have to get these and they need to be reporting positive. Some of them need to be paid off, all that. A lot of people have collections on their account like that messes up their score. A lot of people have late payments on their account that messes up their score. So you want to have that. So that's one of the main factors. The second factor, of course, is your score. The third factor is your DTI. This is your debt to income ratio. How much money you make versus how much debt you have.
No word for me. Go ahead, brother.
So a lot of people have good credit scores. A lot of people, my mom is kind of going through a thing right now where she's got a great credit score and she has the money to get things, but they're saying that her DTI is too high and they won't give her credit right now. And it's bogus, but if your DTI, how much money you make based on how much money you spend, the rule of thumbs is your debt should only be at least less than 45% of your income. Anything over that, like you're running the risk of getting denied. Like pretty much anything over 45%. So after you take in rent and all your bills and stuff and your car payment and all that stuff, if that's 50% of your income, regardless of your credit score, you're going to find it hard to get people to improve you because they're going to look at it like your money is strained. Another thing about credit, if you need credit, they won't give it to you. So you're supposed to get credit when you don't need it. Like in good times, get 3 or 5 credit cards at a time.
You did not say that. That's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. If I need credit, then they won't give it to me. That makes perfect sense because that's what's been happening.
Yep.
When I didn't need credit and I was just trying shit.
If you're seeking it, they're not finna give it to you. But they'll send you stuff in the mail, like saying, hey, this, and this.
Yeah.
Okay, you want this? So you stop looking, you stop, oh, she paid all her bills off. Let's send her this car note. Let's send her this and this and this. So, like,
oh my God.
Credit is really, really messed up. It ain't messed up. It's just the understanding of it is messed up.
Right.
What you want to do is you want to get lump sums of credit at a time when you're not seeking credit. So there's a method of people getting credit cards where you look up and you find out which credit report each bank pulls, right? So like I think Navy Federal pulls TransUnion, Capital One pulls all 3 credit reports. I think Citi pulls Experian, right? So I can apply for a credit card with TransUnion. I can apply for a credit card with Citi. I can find out which one Wells Fargo pulls. I can apply for a credit card with Wells Fargo, and I can do all these within like a short period of time. And you'll only end up with like 2 or 3 hard inquiries on each of your credit reports, but you'll end up with like 7 credit cards. Like, and you'll get them before they get paid off. Like before they get reported, I mean, not paid off, but you'll get them like before they get reported. So that's like a little hack to go from no credit, if you have your credit profile set up right, to go from no credit to like super credit. So, all right, where was I at? Collections. Don't pay collections, right? Like once it's reported on your credit report, it's done. If you pay it, you're just recontracting and you're giving a third party money. So,
right.
If you want to pay somebody that you don't have a contract with to collect this debt, then go ahead and do it. Collections is
hold on, and it's one of the factors that's not going to change your score, right?
Yeah, collections change your score dramatically. Collections drop you down.
I go get that 10-year-old bill and start paying on it like $50 a month. I never saw my score.
Well, yeah, if you start paying on it, then it's not going to change your score. Once it's reported, only thing that'll change your score from that point is removal.
Right. So it does no good for you to go back and try to clean that up.
Allows you specifically say that you need in writing that if I pay this debt off, you're going to remove it from my credit score, and I need this in writing from you. Then you can pay it off. I just wouldn't pay it. Like everything is removable. Everything is at your own consent. Like everything is your personal private information. So
now
you don't have to pay debts. You don't have to pay. Why pay them? Like it's the obligation of the United States. So why pay them? Like go watch the other video to learn about negotiable instruments and stuff. But like, why pay things you don't have to pay?
right?
What
Or
say you, brother, about forced payments? Like, let's say they come and try to garnish your wages. What and they start threatening with
The only people who really have that power is the government, and these are like private companies that can't garnish your wages. The only thing they can do is sell it to a collection agency, and this collection agency start blowing your phone up. And all you got to do is pick up the phone and tell them, hey, cease and desist from all debt collection practices. I do not authorize you to call me or use any of my private information. My stuff is trademarked, so I'll send them a trademark infringement. If you don't cease and desist immediately, you finna owe me some money. So,
damn right.
yeah, but once you tell them cease and desist, they have to process the cease and desist, and they have to stop communicating with you about that debt. They have to legally, they have to stop debt collection on you. Then it's just sitting there, which is it's already been reported to your credit, so it's already sitting in your credit anyways. Why give them the money? Like, keep the money. You can use the money more than they can use the money. Like, they just go resell it to somebody else. So like,
Right.
don't pay off collections. Collections are everything's removable. I mean, we're gonna look at some laws in a minute, but like everything is pretty much removable. Bankruptcies, all that is removable, like all that. So, and a lot of that they get from the court systems, like they get from the public notice things, and they put it on your credit without your consent.
you
So
could remove a bankruptcy ahead of time.
you can what?
You say you could remove a bankruptcy ahead of time.
If you know what you're doing, you'll never have to go through bankruptcy. You should never have to even go through bankruptcy. They'll never. It's a bunch of different ways to get out of a mortgage. It's a bunch of different ways to transfer the obligation and the liability on someone else. And even if you got to start looking at it like, if I walk up to you and I say, Tez, you owe me $50, and you don't say anything, you owe me $50. I can sue you. I can sue you. I can put a lien on you. I can do whatever I want to you because you didn't say, hey, I don't owe you this money, or validate that I owe you this money. Or how did you come up that I owe you this money? You don't say anything like that if you just chill. If the IRS send you a letter, if any private organization sends you a letter and it's like, you owe me this, or you have to perform, or you have to do this, you have to be like, hey, prove. Like, I need proof. I need proof that this is happening. Like, majority of stuff can be moved with a proper validation letter, bankruptcy, all that. So getting into like, all right, so I told you how to move hard inquiries, late payments, pretty much. Any credit account is never supposed to be reported negative on a consumer credit report. Like, that's 12 CFR 102611 treatment of credit balances and termination of accounts. It's in the CFR. Well, I'll show you that here in a minute too. Like, it basically says that whenever you occur a balance of $1 or more, they're supposed to release the funds that they took from your original Social Security account, the original account that funded, because banks don't lend money. Everyone, you can read Modern Money Mechanics. Modern Money Mechanics was wrote by the Federal Reserve Bank, and in it they say banks don't lend money. Like, they don't lend money. They lend Federal Reserve notes. Federal Reserve notes are promissory notes. They're promises to pay. Go ahead.
Free what? Money what? Mechanics?
Modern Money Mechanics.
Modern?
Yep. So money is paper, commercial paper. So when you they're turning it into debits and credits, they're turning it into numbers, they're turning it into crypto, they're turning into stuff like that. It's just numbers. It's a ledger. It's accounting. There's a ledger. There's assets. There's liabilities. Like where there's a debit, there's a credit. Where there's a credit, there's a debit. So now, if you send in a validation letter, yeah, see this at the top it says Federal Reserve note. If you look up what a note is, it's a promissory note. A promissory note is a negotiable instrument. It's all governed by the UCC. and how commerce takes place. It's a promise to pay. It's basically an IOU. So money isn't necessarily real anymore. So everything is run off credit. That's credit. The dollar bill is credit. It's a promise to pay. It's all credit. It's a promise to pay bills at a later time when you go through it.
Can you address Stacy before you go further? She's talking about on the credit.
She don't have a lot of debt.
I don't believe that's true. I know a little bit about credit, and I know I worked with a guy who swore to me, um, child support, student loans, all
So
of that shit can be removed.
yeah, everything can be removed.
Yeah.
Did she ask? Hold on, I really don't.
She said school loans aren't removable.
Oh, I was reading the top one. Okay, she needs another one. My score is 6.
No, it's on the display right under your picture. Those are the ones we addressing right on the display.
Oh yes, everything is removed. School loans are just they're loans with a bank or a private company. Like everything is. Go watch the video I did with them. The last video where we were talking about paying off your bills and negotiable instruments and the transfer of negotiable instruments, and that'll show you how you can legally get rid of your school bills. Like school bills are everything is removable. And as far as your credit goes, everything is based on your consent of you letting them report information. The credit bureaus are private. If you don't have a good credit, I ain't gonna say don't have a good credit score. You need at least 10 positive things reporting, so you don't really have a lot of debt. Now, there's things you can do to get more debt reported, and since they're private, you can actually send them stuff saying, "Hey, report this debt." Like if like you get a credit card and it's being reported on Experian and Equifax, but it's not being reported on TransUnion, send TransUnion a copy of the report from Experian showing that it's being reported, and they'll start reporting it for you. You can report. Technically, you're supposed to report and validate all your information, so you can report information to the credit bureaus too. Also, there's things like if you pay rent, rentreporters.com, you can sign up for it. They'll it's a monthly fee, but they'll report your rental history every month to all three credit bureaus, and I think it goes back like 4 years, so that'll give you length on it. So you want at least 10 things. There's different factors that go into credit too. How much credit you're using, right? You want to keep your utilization down, and this is the really to hook the credit is because they want you to use it, but they don't want you to use it. Like they want you to have debt, but they don't really want you to keep debt on it. They actually punish you for keeping debt. So anything on a credit card over like 10% is going to 10% is not going to necessarily negatively affect you, but it's going to show anything over 30 is going to start to bring your score down. So they want you to use it and then pay it off. Use it and then pay it off. Use it and pay it off. That's kind of how you're supposed to do. What I do with my credit cards is I have PayPal. PayPal will allow you to pull money off a credit card and pay bills, right? So you can just it's a practice called velocity banking. If you have a credit card, look up velocity banking. It'll change kind of. That was my first step into financial freedom, was velocity banking, teaching you basically how to live off credit and pay it down at the same time and build credit and just basically live off credit. So it's I will look into it. Another thing is infinite banking. Infinite banking is basically becoming your own private bank through a life insurance policy. I will look more into that too. If you open more credit lines, it will temporarily lower your score just because they're new credit lines. If you only have student loans, your credit score goes back for however long you were in school. So whether that's been like 10 years, whether that's been like two or 3 years, that's the length of your credit score. So a factor in credit is the length of your credit. So if you have a mom or a brother or a cousin or a sister or somebody like that that has credit cards, you can ask them to add you as an authorized user to their credit cards. Now, they'll send them a credit card. Tell them you don't want the credit card. You can keep the credit card. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the credit card. You just keep the credit card. What's going to happen is their credit history for that credit card is going to start reporting on your credit history. And since you didn't keep the credit card, that you can't touch their credit. You can't do anything to their credit. You can't hurt their credit at all. They're keeping the credit card. That's why I tell you to tell them not just keep the credit card. Unless they're cool enough for giving you the credit card. But I wouldn't advise you using credit cards until you learn how to use credit cards, because they're traps. And credit cards need to be used to gain money. They need to be used to make money to pay the credit cards off. This is how people get in debt. They use credit cards to buy things that they want and buy things that they really don't need. And then before you know it, $300 has turned into 7 months of $70 a month. So you end up paying way more.
Right.
So everything is pretty much easy. Let's go into some of these really quick. Was I done? Where was I at? What else did we do? Student loans. Did that answer your question?
Stacy, put a 1 if it answered your question. Otherwise, you can always come back and go into more detailed conversation about it.
Yeah, I mean, we gonna go deeper. That's like the base level. If you take like a credit class, that's like the base level stuff they're gonna teach you. Like we're gonna go like deeper than that.
Right.
Like it's your credit, it's your consumer. Everything is yours. It's all your private information. Like so, hold on. Yeah, let me share my screen real quick.
Yeah, we was bound to dig into this credit thing anyway, because we're really on the UCC tip and teaching you, how to get your piece of the pie because it's yours. So we eventually was going to tackle this credit thing. I'm sort of glad that we got it early and can push it out the way so we can get back to bigger and better things. Peace to the goddess Salima Ellis.
All right. This is the CFPB. Again, all this information is completely public information. None of this is hidden. It's all put there for you to read if you want to read and if you want to understand it. It's there. It's out there. A lot of this is federal code. A lot of this is put into the U.S. code, right? So this is the U.S. code. We're going to commerce and trade. Notice they say both. Commerce is business, trade is personal. So they got commerce and trade on there. I would suggest going through a lot of these. That's not where we're going to start. We're going to go to the CFPB again, and all these acts are inside both. Like federal code gets adopted on the state level and on the county level all the way down. So your state will have different variations of the code, but it will basically pretty much be the same code. So we're going to start with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, Regulation B.
Can we make it just a little bigger, brother? If you wouldn't mind. Whenever you get to the page there. Yeah, that's perfect right there.
This part, known as Regulation B, is issued by the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection pursuant to Title Equal Opportunity Act of the Consumer Credit Protection Act as amended by the USC, whatever, except as otherwise provided herein. This part applies to all persons who are creditors, as defined in that chapter, other than the person excluded from coverage. I'm not going to read all. That's just telling you basically what the purpose of this is. This is just basically to just tell you stuff about credit, pretty much. Definitions. Definitions is what a power is, because a lot of people I've heard a bunch of stuff, but they have different definitions of different words. So getting the understanding of the actual words that you're using and what they really mean on the federal level and stuff matters a lot. An account means an extension of credit. When employed in relation to an account, the word refers to only to open-ended credit accounts. An act means the Equal Opportunity Act.
Scroll back up for a sec because adverse adverse action. Should we know about adverse action?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about adverse action.
Okay, because I thought that was something that you said you was gonna have to do.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Somebody.
adverse action.
All right, cool.
Applicant means any person who requests, so just by requesting, or who has received an extension of credit from a creditor, and includes any person who is or may become contractually liable regarding an extension of credit. An application means an oral or written request for an extension of credit that is made in accordance with procedures used by a creditor for the type of credit requested. The term application does not include the use of an account or line of credit to obtain an amount of credit that which is previously established credit limit. So just read some more of that. Goes into business credit. Consumer credit means credit extended to a natural person, primarily for personal, family, or household use. So you want to start identifying the fact that you're doing consumer credit transactions. You're not just doing credit transactions, you're doing consumer. The consumer identifies you as a natural person working in trade and not working in commerce. Contractually liable means expressly obligated to repay all debts arising on any amount by reason of an agreement to that effect. Credit means the right gained by a creditor to an applicant to defer payment of debt, incur and its payment, and defer its payment, or purchase property or services and defer payment thereof. So credit is just, the word credit just means the deferment of debt. It just means you ain't got to pay this today. Like you got to pay it, but you ain't got to pay it today. A creditor means a person who, in the ordinary course of business, regularly participates in credit decisions, setting the terms of the credit. The term creditor includes a creditor's assignee, transferee, or subscribee who so participates. So a creditor is just anybody who offers credit. Like you technically are a creditor because you offer credit.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So now I keep trying to tie this shit back to the either the redemption manual or some UCC code or whatever. I'm saying when you do your financing statement, is that not making you a secure party creditor?
Yeah, I mean, the term secure party creditor is kind of
okay. So really, are you not going from,
anyways?
So are you not going from a debtor to a creditor through that financing statement?
You're already a creditor and a debtor. It just depends on how you move. You can move like a debtor, you can move like a creditor. The secure party creditor transaction, you're already a secure party. The creditor part is basically something made up. You'll never see that in the UCC where they actually refer to it as like a secure party creditor. Like it's actually there's the secure party who has an interest, and then there's the lien holder. So what the secure party creditor process basically is you're already secured the interest, and now you're becoming a lien holder too, giving you the highest lien on your estate. So it's more for like validation. For like it just gives you more power, it gives you more oomph, gives you more when you go up against people. But I mean, you're already a secure party. They're using your social security information, your private information to create money.
Right.
That by law and by definition is a creditor. So you're already a creditor because you're issuing your credit. They're not giving you credit. They're offering you a negotiable instrument for credit. You're signing it. You're giving them value. They're going to whatever account you give them, and they're taking the money out of that account and they're putting it in escrow. Banks
basically it's doing shit for us that we don't know how to do for ourselves.
Yeah, because you're incompetent. So they're going to do it for you behind your back.
We're incompetent in the worst way.
Like, yeah, until you really understand what you're doing, you're incompetent.
Right, which they're not going to help us with at all.
Nope, at all.
And they're not obligated to.
They're not. It literally says in the law that if you don't know how to exercise your rights, you have no rights.
Right.
Period.
That's the same as asking our oppressor to stop oppressing us.
Yep. Yep. So in the Constitution, it says that private information cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. So anything that you own that's private cannot be used in the public without them giving you something. They're supposed to give you stuff for your private information. They're supposed to give you consideration. If you don't know what consideration is, go and read the UCC, find out what consideration is. You're supposed to have equal consideration on any contract. This is how most contracts can be voidable. They're supposed to be equal consideration. Both parties are supposed to equally get something from a contract. So how is it equal if you're paying and if you don't pay, they hit your credit and they might try to sue you? How is that equal? That's not equal consideration. That makes contracts voidable.
So, okay, and a lease is a contract, right?
Yeah, everything's contract.
Okay, so check this out. Here's how my landlord came back at me. Once I took the lease that he wanted me to just sign and agree with this rent increase of $80. I signed, but I signed, I used some UCC stuff on his ass. But even then, I went through that little partial lease and crossed out dates and filled them in what I thought would work for me. Scratch this out and scratch that out. So it took him a while to see that. But then he's like, he emailed me like, yeah, we're gonna have to redo this lease thing because you scratched out things.
Send him an email quoting the code like, no, like I've delivered you.
Wait,
like,
this is what I told him so far. Wait, it was like that won't work, and we can't even start your rent increase without you signing it. All right, bitch. Well, why would I sign it now?
Oh, your consent. You're consenting to them.
You told me that you can't even increase my rent without me agreeing to and signing this little punk ass sheet, right? Oh, yeah, it's on. It's on right now. It's on. Mm-hmm. I didn't say nothing yet because I didn't want to blow my stat. What I did do is say, bring me the full lease.
Like I would
bring me that whole motherfucker.
I wouldn't even say that. I would send him an email with some laws basically stating this is offer acceptance.
I want him to send me the full lease so I can use that. So I can have that in my arsenal too. I want to see what all this other bullshit, because everybody knows nobody's never read that fucking lease.
Yeah, you should.
Nobody's reading all that shit.
You should. I
didn't read it.
That's the difference between being a debtor or a creditor, right? Because a creditor is going to read the lease. They understand contracts and how contracts work. If you don't understand how contracts work, you're a debtor, and you're going to continue to pay all your bills. You're going to continue to pay everything in life and struggle and give your energy away for fake money, for paper. So that's what I mean. Like you're already a debtor and a creditor. It just depends on how you move and what you want to do. Do you want to be a creditor or do you want to be a debtor? Because you're already producing credit.
Right.
You just don't know you're doing it. So
I want my landlord to know that I know that this is a negotiable instrument.
You probably don't even know what that means.
No, he don't
even know. He's probably like,
my rent. He know he can't jack my rent without my signature. Mm-hmm. So he knows something.
The main thing is he doesn't know what it is. So when he starts trying to go through like the court process, you just enter those documents in and make copies of the emails and send them in. Like, hey, this is we're negotiating.
Hey, we're
negotiating the terms of my contract. Like this
He's
is
trying to say, no, you're trying to negotiate. Just sign it. I'm going to say, you know what? Bring me that big one, and then we're gonna do all this at the same time, and I smack his ass. And I will
still be like, come sit down with me. Like I said, get you 2 witnesses and have those 2 witnesses sitting there with you.
He set himself up, dude. You know what? If I agree to you raise my rent, you're doing all of these things on this 5-page addendum.
I wouldn't even like, if you want to go that route, send them a conditional acceptance.
I want to go that route because I like fucking with them like that. Let them know that everybody's not quiet and shut the fuck up. Yeah, some people are going to.
When he gives you the lease,
bitch.
When he gives you the lease, send him a conditional acceptance. You send it certified mail. He's going to sign for it. He's going to get it. If he doesn't perform, he's not going to send it back. You say in the conditional acceptance, you need to respond by mail.
Oh,
so
yeah,
when he calls you or he emails you or comes up on you or whatever, that's not how you're supposed to. So now you contractually agree to this. So now we have a binding contract. If you try to sue me, if you try to do anything, I'll put this in a court case. This is
whoa. Now it's not an eviction thing. Now it's a contract negotiating problem for the So now you can't even evict.
Everything is negotiable. You're taking negotiations right now. Everything is negotiable. They can't kick you out when you're negotiating.
Let the games begin. This is fun ass shit, and I love it. Just like the book I was reading about the how I clobber every bureaucrat or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. I like this because now let the games begin. I'm joining.
You have the power.
I'm joining in the reindeer game. I mean,
now you gotta have the balls to do it. Like a lot of people.
This is what I do, bro.
Really going to want to do this stuff. Like you don't have to, but I mean,
have nothing with time.
Yeah, you gotta have your rights. You gotta do your own rights. But let's get back into the definitions and stuff.
Let's go.
All right, credit transaction. Did I read that already? Discrimination against an applicant means to treat an applicant less favorable than other applicants. So discriminate against the applicant means to treat an applicant less favorably than other applicants.
Mm-hmm.
So discrimination is just by them treating you less favorably. By if they normally extend credit and they don't extend you credit, but this is what you normally do for a normal person, then that's discrimination. A lot of the stuff that you're going to be saying is going to be under discrimination. Like, I don't want to read about this credit. You could read about that, the credit scoring system, extend credit. An extension of credit means the granting of credit in any form. That means pretty much whatever, but not limited to credit granted in addition to any existing credit or credit limit. Credit granted pursuant to an open-ended credit plan, to refinancing or other renewal of credit, including the issuance of new credit card in place of an expiring credit card or in substitution of an existing credit card, the consolidation of 2 or more obligations, or the continuance of existing credit without any special effect to collect at or after maturity. So credit extension just basically means any form of credit extended, like pretty much credit cards. Credit extensions cover a wide variety of stuff. Good faith, you always want to act in good faith. If you act in good faith, you good, pretty much. Act in honesty, conduct yourself good. We want. Open-ended credit means credit extension under a plan in which a creditor may permit an applicant to make purchases or obtain loans from time to time directly from the creditor or indirectly by use of a credit card, check, or other device. So any credit thing that you can repeatedly use, revolving credit, is considered an open-ended credit line. And
are banks obligated to give you a credit card after meeting all the requirements, which might be a year at the bank or blah blah blah.
Your credit card is your debit card.
Okay, no, they have real credit cards at the bank that you can
Yeah,
apply for where you actually
you can apply for it. If you apply for it, then technically they're obligated to give it to you. But your debit card is a credit card. Your account, the way you're using your account is wrong. Your account is set up wrong. So you will have to look deeper into how to set up your actual deposit account. You will have to look into what is a deposit account, what is a demand deposit account, and how to set it up. They're supposed to match your deposit on deposit accounts like each month when they send you that statement. That statement is a payment to you showing interest on the money that you've put into that account, and they should be matching that for you.
Yeah, that don't ever happen.
Yeah, they don't, because a lot of this stuff, when you start looking into the banking code, a lot of this stuff, the banks don't have to do it unless you say something. Banks can process a fraudulent thing with immunity if they don't have anything basically stating in clear state that this is fraud. They can process. So, person means a natural person, a corporation, a government, or a governmental subdivision or agency, trust, estate, partnership, corporation, or association. So when you say a person, your business is a person too.
Peace, Carly.
Any business is a person.
Mhm.
Elements of credit worthiness in relation to a judgmental system of evaluating applicants means any information about an applicant that a creditor obtains and considers and that has demonstrated relationship to determine the credit worthiness. I want to go big. I want to hit it.
Yeah, Tazz, we need to acknowledge Brother Carly.
Peace and love to the brother. Appreciate you, Brother Beef. I see that you've seen the link. I knew you probably had some questions and you wanted to throw some of your little hand in the bucket, and the brother has so much knowledge and we built so well the last time, that I didn't hesitate to just drop the link just
What's good, bro?
had any
Mike, mute
Mike.
Mike.
Your
Unmute.
mic is muted. Your mic is
Your mic is muted.
your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. We can't hear you.
We can't.
I'm sorry, I got a lot going on in the background, so I'm muted. I just wanted to get a close up, what's going on. If I have a question though, I'll ask it or something. But I just wanted to be a part of it and listen.
We gonna have question time at the end because I know people gonna have a lot of questions about it.
Perfect. I'm gonna wait till the end. I'm gonna sit back on mute.
All right.
Have a question and answer, and then you'll be able to give it.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call right.
All right. Discrimination. A creditor shall not discriminate against an applicant on a prohibitable basis regarding any aspects of a credit transaction. Any aspects of a credit transaction. Any aspects of a credit transaction. That's
Which they do every day. They do that every day.
They do every day. It's discrimination. Any aspects of a credit transaction. They cannot discriminate against you for any of that. So you having bad credit, yeah, that's a factor, but that's not a determining factor. That's just basically, yeah.
Right.
Encouragement, written applications.
I see. I'm gonna be writing a lot of letters.
Yeah, that's what, like, man, that's all I do, really. that's really all I do.
Wow.
All right, this is concerning rules concerning extensions of credit. A creditor shall not refuse to grant an individual account to a creditworthy applicant on the basis of sex, marital status, or any other prohibited basis.
Okay, now we have to define credit worthy.
You're credit worthy. Do you believe you're credit worthy? You're giving credit. I believe I'm credit worthy. You finna take the money from me, motherfucker. You taking my money to fund this account. So I'm credit worthy. Obviously, you're going to do it regardless to if you give me the money in it, right?
They so easily disobey this, like without even a second thought.
Because you know you don't know. The average person don't.
I got a 6-month credit extension, and then I waited 6 more months, and I said, "Hey, hook me up." And they had to like recheck things, and they actually like denied it with the letter. Like, really?
That letter, that's the adverse action. But they're not supposed to do an adverse action against the consumer.
Right. And we have to know that we're consumers. So me and you talked yesterday. Was that yesterday? The other day, and you brought that up. It's like most of us are not handling things as a consumer, which is where our rights are at. Now, who's a consumer, Shawn?
A natural person.
Every natural person.
Yep, every natural person. Anybody who's doing stuff for the benefit of them and their family. If you driving to Florida to go on vacation to make some money, then that's different from if you driving to Florida to just chill out on the beach with your family. Like, I'm just chilling, man. Like, I'm traveling. I'm not driving.
Right.
This is a family vacation. Like, so it's just words. Words mean a lot.
So is there a manual on consumer rights? Is there a bill? What's the book we should look for to find out what our benefits as a consumer are?
This is it. Just go to the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're gonna list, this is all your consumer rights. This is all the stuff that they have to do. It lists all the disclosures that they're supposed to give you. Like them not giving you disclosures is against the law, and that voids a lot of contracts. So if you know that you're supposed to send me a disclosure, there's supposed to be a disclosure saying that I have a right to rescind within a certain amount of days, or that I have something saying that I need to be aware of this credit transaction because it might mess up my credit history, and you're supposed to send me these things and you're not, that's a voidable contract. It's not full disclosure. Any contract is voided under you not fully disclosing what we're into. We're both equally into this. This is about consideration. You get a negotiable instrument, you get an asset to put on your books, I get consideration. I'm supposed to get some form of compensation from you. Like, you're supposed to give me something.
Right. Yeah, it's a trade-off.
You. Like, that's not how things go. If I was with a normal person, I give them money, they give me a sandwich, they don't then charge me $2 a month for that sandwich for the next 12 months. Like, no, I gave you this fake money. You gave me a sandwich. I'm finna go eat this sandwich. You'll never get the sandwich back. That's how it's supposed to be. You give me this computer. Just bought this computer. I sent off the negotiable instrument to the Secretary of Treasury earlier today.
No way.
For this computer, brand new computer. Just got it souped up. Got everything on it. I had to get something else. I got to transfer all my shit from my other computer. I didn't. Yeah. Ultimately, when you understand, don't sweat the small stuff. It's really nothing they can do to you legally. They can't really come after you legally because of how contracts work, and you're supposed to get something. So you just move. Just start moving. Start moving like a creditor.
Right. It's not a magic pill, but if you just invest in yourself and just take the time to just read. That's what I'm starting to realize, myself, because I'm learning, family. Before you guys think that I can't speak for nobody else, but before you guys think that I'm in an accredited position like the brother that it appears that he has the vast majority of this, down pat. I'm learning, and it looks like the lack of reading that we're willing to do is our problem. It's our biggest problem. So it's a reading.
I'm trying to find the true definition of credit card for you, so you can see that your Social Security account your Social Security card is a credit card. I just gotta find where they put. So let me go. So this is the CFPB, right? So they have different regulations. This is Regulation B, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Home mortgage disclosure. You got a home mortgage, they're supposed to tell you certain stuff. If they didn't tell you certain stuff, that avoid your mortgage contract. Alternate mortgage transaction. Electronic funds transfer, right?
Mhm.
So each account, each number you have, each 9-digit number is an account number. So your driver's license is tied to an account. Your Social Security is tied to an account. All these are credit cards.
Bank account is tied to an account.
Yeah, all of your bank card. Yeah, it is because all banks have to have a required reserve they have to keep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the money they take from you and they put it in escrow and it just sits there. So here's the fair debt collection practices showing you like what they can and can't do for collecting debt. That'll basically tell you really if you tell them cease and desist, they'll stop calling you. And it just goes through Land Registration Act. I gotta look more into that because I need to know. My next thing is well, I don't even know because I'm not paying taxes no more, so it don't matter. Consumer leasing, Regulation M. This is where you need to read the
Okay.
consumer
Yeah,
leasing Regulation M.
absolutely.
Privacy and consumer finance regulation. This is they're supposed to give you an opt-out notice.
Mm.
Says it right. It's supposed to give you an opt-out notice. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Some people do, some people don't. Where the freak?
Even if they do, we're not gonna read it.
Yeah, that's the problem. If they do, yeah, most people don't read it.
Yeah, we won't know if they did or not.
Truth in lending, Regulation Z. This is powerful right here. I think this is actually where we're gonna find it.
Truth in Lending Act. Yep.
Application means the
So,
submission of a
and so you
consumer.
used the abbreviation, but what is the CFR? For those who don't know what we're reading, what is the CFR?
Right here at the top left.
Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We definitely need to be all up in there.
The FTC is the Federal Trade Commission. They're over all of it. Congress doesn't really like credit. Congress doesn't really like the IRS. So they put stuff in place to help you deal with this. But if you don't know about it, then you just don't know about it. A card issuer means a person that issues a credit card or that person's agent with respect on that card. A credit card holder means a natural person to whom a credit card is issued for a consumer credit purposes. So you're the card holder or a natural person who has agreed with a card issuer to pay consumer credit obligations arising from the issuance of a credit card to another natural person. So you're the card holder since they gave it to you. Consumer means a card holder, a natural person who we already read, but consumer credit means credit offered or extended to a consumer primarily for personal, family, or household purposes. That's the difference between saying you're doing consumer credit or regular credit. Rights and your judging. Here we go. Credit card. A credit card means any card, plate, or other credit device that may be used from time to time to obtain credit. The term credit card includes a hybrid prepaid credit card as defined. So it includes any card given to you for the purpose of obtaining credit. That's a credit card. Any plate, any device, anything that they give you. Technically, the birth certificate is technically a credit card too. So your driver's license is technically a credit card. All that is a credit card. And this just talking more about, especially about it. All right, so
Shawn,
yeah.
your favorite aunt is in the house. Did you know that? Arnola. That's her question to you. Okay. Arnola Grant in the house. That's my sister. It's not Shawn's mother though. But it's my sister who's just now coming to my channel ever. I told her me and Shawn was gonna be together But she really didn't want to know this. I told Renee to call you last week when she was here.
Yeah, I mean, you can, or just read the last video. The last video that we did together basically will tell you how to get rid of that.
She said that the interest rates are too high. Okay, so they're
You
going
don't,
to say you agreed to
you're not
this.
obligated to pay any of that. Like the note, it's a payment to you. You just got to start understanding what money is and how money really works. You got to start understanding what negotiable instruments are, and the power you have under all contracts. All contracts come for you. So I would go back and watch the last video we did. It's probably like a 3-hour video, but it goes into negotiable instruments and transferring your right. All you would need to do is on your promissory note that you got from your car loan company, they sold that to a bank. It should have a bank, somebody, this note is owned by some bank, and it should have it on the back of your stuff. Just transfer your rights over to that bank and tell them to pay it. Everything is secured by
I
interest.
see what she's saying too, because you got to pay the interest off first. She said, how do you like make that not so high so more of your money that you do pay goes to your actual car note?
You don't pay it. You keep your money in your pocket because you work for it. You don't pay that shit. If you watch the last video, I bought a car January. It's in the garage. I haven't made one payment on it. They're not finna come for me. That they not trying to call me or collect on it. Like they hit my credit, but I mean I'm finna get that cleaned up. Either way it go, you can't.
Right. The car.
If I say you owe me $500 and I don't owe you $500, then are you gonna pay me? You gotta go watch the last video, because it's gonna basically break down to you negotiable instruments, right? And how you can just transfer your rights in the instrument to somebody else for payment and transfer that obligation
right
to somebody else. So just transfer the obligation on that note to the bank that owns that note, because some bank was sold that your contract is your contract you signed with them as a negotiable instrument. They sold that to a bank.
Right.
So you just got to find which bank owns that note. It'll be on the note. It has to legally be printed on the note. You'll find read the back of your contract, get your contract and read it, and then just assign it.
You know she's gonna call you, right?
I mean, that's cool. I'm trying to go through get everything good with my mom too. So now we finna it was a couple more of these I wanted to show, but we finna do it like this.
Shawn, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
What dictionary or what website are you using for these terminologies for people in the chat?
It's actually so for when you read the laws, every code that you're going to go in, they're going to have a definition section basically telling you what they mean when they use these words. So you got to actually read, like this is actually in the definition on the website. It's just on the definition page.
Oh, okay. What website are you on? I'm sorry, I came in late, brother.
Consumerfinance.gov, the CFPB. Can you see it?
Consumerfinance.gov.
Yeah.
Okay, let me write that down. I'm sorry. All right, yes, we can continue. Please forgive me.
No problem. Good. All right, so this one. Treatment of credit balances and account termination. So they have two of these. They have one pursuant to opening the credit accounts, and they have one pursuant to closing the credit accounts. So I had one of my credit card accounts. I transferred the rights to one of my credit card accounts, and they wrote me back saying that I can't do this because my credit card account is actually a secure loan. And it was like, so these laws don't pertain to your account because it's really a secure loan. I'm like, what? So I sent them back a letter basically explaining I know exactly what a credit card account is. I know exactly what extension of credit. I sent them back the definition with the codes. It would say the code, then it would have a definition under it. Like, and I really haven't heard from them. So, all right, credit balances. When a credit balance in excess of $1, is created on a credit account, the creditor shall credit the amount of the credit balance to the consumer's account. Your credit card should never be reported as late. Your credit card should never be reported as not paid. It's in the rules. They're supposed to credit the amount of the credit balance to the consumer's account. Like it's all right here, right? Like they talk about termination. They're not supposed to terminate your account.
A creditor shall not terminate. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
They've been getting away with way too much.
And it's all out. It's just people don't know. I mean, you don't. I fell through a rabbit hole and end up reading this stuff, but people don't know. Like you don't. And if you don't have a reason to read this stuff, you're not going to.
Okay, so this is a legit question, man. I wasn't getting it at first, but listen. Since it's consent form to have a credit report, really, and you know how they'll just put the things on that the corporations tell them to, but what about us? Can we say, hey, I've been paying rent every month and it's not showing up on my credit score?
Yeah. You can report anything on your credit score.
How do we report it, though?
Just send them a letter.
Huh?
Send them a letter.
And say, put my paid rent on my credit score?
Hey, here, send them a letter with evidence that you're paying the rent. Hey, I've been paying this every month. Here's a printout of my receipt.
Why can't we tell our bank every month when we pay our rent and you see it's in a transaction, send that to the credit report?
Your bank, they might do it. Like if you have a personal banker, they might do it for you. But I mean, it's ways around that too. Like I said, rent reporters, you pay them a little thing and they report it for you. And you just, I think it's like $50 a month. You pay them and they report it for you. And really, once you understand negotiable instruments, you don't have to pay them.
Right. And we are, when it's all said and done, we are going to understand negotiable instruments.
Yeah. Because once you understand negotiable instruments, every debt is the obligation of the United States. You don't have to pay it. You can pay it if you want to. You can act like a debtor if you want to, but you don't have to pay it. All right, this is the United States Code. I'll write this down. This is over administrative enforcement. This is going to tell you who you want to send your letters to, right? For whatever you're dealing with. 15 U.S. Code 1691C, administrative enforcement. If you're not good with paperwork, if you don't like writing letters, if you don't like stuff like that, you're going to hate this process because that's what it is. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, this is just national banks, federal savings banks, Federal Reserve, like each of these credit card banks, savings associations, they all report or they all have a different governing body over them. So this just basically tells you who you need to go to get your remedy from the credit, from anybody really, not just the credit bureaus, but this is enforcement on anybody.
Damn.
Right? Because we read earlier, it's discrimination to deny you from anything. So they're not supposed to give an adverse action against you. So that's showing you, that one is showing you your administrative process. Issuance of credit cards. This one is just talking about, it's just the issuance of credit card. It's real short. We can read it. No credit card shall be issued except in response to a request or an application therefore, which basically means that you didn't apply for your Social Security credit card. So
nope.
Technically that's fraud, but we won't go into that.
Today we won't.
Like, yeah. All right, and we're gonna do write down these codes, go back and watch them, read them. You know what I'm saying? So you can get some type of grasp of them. If you can't get a grasp, we'll do a show where you can ask questions and stuff.
Yep.
Civil liability. This basically explains what happens to them. You know what I'm saying? what happens when they deal with the consumer. They're negligent in failing to comply with any requirement imposed under this subchapter with respect to any consumer is liable to that consumer in an amount equal to the sum of any actual damages sustained by the consumer. You know, it's just showing what you got to do, right? And we put all this in a letter when you send it to them. 15, 16. Validation of debts right here. This talks about the validation of debts and what they're actually supposed to send you when you dispute debts. Like this is very powerful. I would definitely go through and read this right here, so you can find out that a contract, a statement, a contract that's not evidence of a debt. That's evidence of a credit. So when they send you these statements for validations of debt, that's not a validation of a debt. But since most people don't know that, you get the statement and you don't know what to do from that point. Just kind of end up messed up. But write them back and tell them that this shows me that I extended credit. But I mean, this validation of debt, this isn't real. It's a bunch of once you start looking into it, bro, there's so many ways to get out of shit. And really the main thing is you don't have to pay shit. As long as you follow the laws, right? They can't really come after you. And as long as you educate yourself, you'll get to a point where you know how to respond if they do try to come after you.
Isn't it more like instead of following the laws, because we know they're not really laws, isn't it like understanding their codes?
Yeah, just understanding. Yeah, I didn't mean to say law, but yeah, codes and statutes. It's not really. Right. You're not really governed by it.
There is no law
that they have to do certain things. They're obligated to move a certain way. Well, I can't delete that. I don't want that up no more. All right, so here go. This is my adverse action letter I sent.
And this letter is going to do what? Change what?
Just putting them on notice.
Okay.
They're probably going to ignore you, right? They're probably not going to respond, or they're going to send you some bullshit. So you're going to have to go to that administrative process page, and you're going to have to send this to the people that needs to be notified. You're going to have to start kicking up noise. You need to do a complaint with the CFPB. I will write a letter to the commissioner of the FTC. There's a commissioner of financial institutions, like he's over certain stuff. There's another branch that's over credit unions, and then there's another branch that's over actual banks. So you got to find out who you need to kick shit to, and then start sending letters, start making it rough, start being, hey, bro, you're not gonna just keep doing this shit, and once you're disputing stuff, once you're going through it, they by law can't continue to charge you. So,
oh yeah, can we read this? Can I read it? Can you read it?
This,
yeah,
I'm gonna read it here in a second. But everything, what was I saying? Damn, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I can't remember what I'm saying. This was I applied for a car with a SIN, and I knew they were going to deny me. I applied just to see, because I wanted to start testing this shit out. That's all I was gonna say. Once you send them something, everything they send you, keep a copy of it. Keep it all. It's all evidence. It's all evidence showing that you're going through your administrative process, regardless to if they fucking with you or not. It's all evidence. When you go and you decide that you're gonna sue them, or you decide you're gonna put a lien on them, or you decide what you're gonna do with them, or maybe if you're just gonna ignore them, because once you get it off your credit and you tell them to stop contacting you, like you don't have to pay it. You really don't have to do anything from that point. Like, you can't legally collect on me. Why even worry about it? Like, that's like a nigga down the street saying you owe me $500. No, I don't, bro. And ain't nothing you can do to get that $500. So I'm just gonna stop acknowledging you and tell you to stop talking to me about it.
Damn.
So it depends on how you start looking at things. But it says Dear Karen Gabriel, I, the consumer and natural person, was denied credit by a Sin Credit Union when I applied for a car loan stash extension of credit. Adverse action against the consumer is against the law according to the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which is codified in 15 U.S.C. 1691C and pursuant to civil liability under 15 U.S.C. 1692K. You are subject to criminal liability for violating 15 U.S.C. 1691, as I have proof that I was discriminated against by a Sin Credit Union due to the response I received. They basically sent me an email. I printed out a copy of the email and I sent it to her certified mail with the copy of the email. A Sin Credit Union is in violation of 15 United States Code 1642, United States Code 1681M, and 12 CFR 1002 because I, the consumer, made an application in good faith, but credit was not issued. Furthermore, because my Social Security number / credit card was used and I received no benefit or just compensation, this is proof of fraudulent activity, unauthorized use as a credit card. Oh, that's what I meant to pull up. That's what I meant to. We got to go back and look at that. If a Sin Credit Union fails to make any responsible procedures to resolve this matter and compensate me for the use of my credit, I will indeed make a Sin Credit Union criminally liable for any and all actual damages pursuant to 15 U.S.C. 1681-0. I will also follow up with an invoice for said violations, $10,000 per violation. Me, the natural person, and alienable rights.
Without prejudice.
Yep. I wanted to, what was I looking at? What was something I was supposed to do?
Universal Empress in the house. Joe Bella.
Unauthorized use. That's what we want. See, it says rules and policies. They don't call it law because it's not law.
Right. Because there are no laws. There's one law.
Codified statutes or codified law or something like that. It's not just called law. I need to find out. I wanted to show y'all what they said about unauthorized transactions. Because basically any transaction that you authorize that they don't extend credit to you is an unauthorized transaction. This is why you can call and be like, hey, remove this hurdle.
Oh, okay. And so we supposed to just be not in the door till we opened?
You're supposed to get anything you want.
And these motherfuckers ain't been opening the door. And we knocked on it. We beat the motherfucker in, and we damn near kicking it down. And you still ain't giving us our shit.
I mean, because in the grand scheme of things, it's only like a small amount of people who actually know something about this. So that was what the adverse reaction: a refusal to grant credit, substantially the amount or other substantially the terms requested in an application unless the creditor makes a counter offer. So you can make a counter offer too because you're a creditor. So
yeah.
I don't know more than it. Where is it?
I know they can feel these changes coming. I know they can feel it. And we small time over here. That's why everybody on here in the chat needs to share this with your relatives. Everybody needs to know this kind of stuff. And even if they don't want to read it themselves, at least like stay tuned. When you see Shawn coming to the Tazz Yahsinni Show, you already know. Boom.
This is not the definition I wanted, but that goes to unauthorized use.
Don't you normally
Well,
use?
just read through it. Basically, it tells you, and it says in the definition of unauthorized use that like you they can't use your credit without you getting a benefit, and there is no benefit for you applying for credit and them denying you. There is no benefit for that.
Hmm.
So I would read more into that, look into that. Those are the laws. Their laws. You just gotta kind of look at it like it's a superpower that I can use to make them do what I want to do. You should be able to walk in and get any car you want, right? You should be able to do all that. A lot of this stuff, your life would be a whole lot easier if you learn how to move and work with a bank. Like go try to get you a banker
Okay.
and test
And
to see.
I don't want to keep tripping, but these are some good points. So one more for Arnola, and then you talk to her personal. Listen, she's been with her bank for 15 years and can't get a loan. Why?
For one, you don't know this stuff. So the bank is not obligated to tell you your rights. So if you don't know that you have certain rights,
They don't have some kind of disclosure act where they are obligated to tell you your rights.
Yeah, it's all in there. It says the disclosure. It's actually, I think it's called the Disclosure Act, but it's in the CFR. It says
But don't they have to point you to that while they're declining your loan?
they don't have to, but they're supposed to.
Well, what is disclosure if they don't have to?
I mean, they're supposed to. If you know they're supposed to, then they're supposed to. If you don't know they're supposed to, then they don't have to. It's up to your personal knowledge and what you know about stuff.
So you're
Right.
agreeing that she is entitled to a loan from her bank of 15 years.
She's entitled to. Like you gotta. People don't even really understand what accounts are and stuff like that. And that's my next that I really need to dive into because
Okay. Mm-hmm. One step at a time, bro.
all right, so this is like the Federal Reserve statutes and rules and stuff. I want the whole thing. So when you start going to this, you'll start finding like different things about like what accounts are and what you're supposed to be able to do and how they're supposed to treat them. And this is Regulation CC. It basically says that when you write a check, which is a negotiable instrument, and you send it in and they deny you, whatever they send back, it has the same value as that check. So in retrospect, you should be able to write $100,000 check and go try to cash it to the bank. And then when they deny you, they should give you back a negotiable instrument worth $100,000. But if you don't read into it, you just don't know this stuff. Like everything got codes, they have regulation. That's why it's so much reading to do, because like everybody has different things that they have to follow. So when you get into banking, I would definitely start looking into the Federal Reserve codes and the regulations that banks have to follow, right? Because the ultimate goal for me is to be a private banker, an unincorporated private banker, to be able to lend credit, to be able to give credit, to be able to operate with credit for me and my family. So if you want to be able to do that, you got to learn how banks move and what they do. You can incorporate. Being an incorporated bank is easy. You just get you an EIN, get you a FIN number, and get you a FINS number. And then it's a couple other numbers that you got to get. Giving you the FINS number is your financial institution number. The FIN number gives you the ability to monetize securities, like promissory notes and create bonds and do all that other stuff. So it gets deep. It is deep. Yeah, we can take questions if anybody got any questions.
Most definitely, most definitely. That was surely a lot to swallow. I'm gonna have to do the same as the last time and just re-review. And I encourage everybody, to revisit the previous lives, because there is a lot of knowledge that that he's going by in sequence. Now that I'm looking at what after I re-look at the information that he's giving us, I realize that he's giving us a sequence of events of the things that he's providing or whatever. So go check out the previous ones, and make sure that you check those out. But if anybody does have any questions, it's greatly appreciated. This is your chance. If you have anything you might want to ask, I'll leave it open for a couple minutes, for any questions and answer for the brother. And if not, then as always, it was a great build. I don't know if Brother Leaf or Sister Yasini want to add anything.
Yeah, I just put the link to come in the house. Come on in. Come on in. Have a chat. If you really got questions, come in right now. Click on this link. We let you in and ask Sean.
And
This is
please,
your
if
chance.
you if you have certain questions, please come respectfully. All right, don't.
Oh,
If something does not agree with you or whatever, don't make me boot your ass out of here.
Yeah.
and you know he will.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just gonna tell you the information. You got to choose whether you listen to it or not. Now, don't listen to me. Like, go back and do your research. Like anything I say, like
We
you
good. We good. We
or
good
verify.
with our chat.
I work chicken
Here
I
now.
was,
every day. Every day.
I was gonna say, I've just been amazed by all the information, of course, and I wanted to throw out there maybe something that could help out the people as far as maybe invest into one of those apps that read for you,
Yeah,
and then
one.
that's how you can get through books and get through all of this information like that. Get something that can read it for you, and now you can sit back and do what we're really good at, which is listen.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can see it. It's called Natural Reader.
Natural Reader, how much do you pay for that?
It's free.
Natural Reader is free on the app. Oh, nice.
It's free.
I gotta write that down.
So how
Natural
they do
Reader.
it? How they do it is you got premium voices and then you have like regular voices. So
Right.
the premium voices is free for 20 minutes. After that, you either have to upgrade to premium or you have to listen with the lower voices. But the lower voices, I still listen to it. It just sounds like somebody who smoke a lot.
Yeah, I just need the information.
Like, yeah, that's why, man. Woo. Let me see if I can log in and show you some of the stuff I got on. I got so much shit on there. There's so much stuff on my phone that I still haven't read that kind of needs to be read just for understanding. It's all about understanding, really.
Right. And that's why I like where I can get them to just kind of read it over and over and then just keep, you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of eventually kind of like clicks or sticks, you know.
Because that's what I was going through when I first started. I was going through so much stuff and I couldn't understand what people was talking about. But now when I go back and listen, okay, now it all makes sense. What you were saying back then could have helped me now. I just wasn't ready for that information at that point in time.
Right. Now I'm definitely going to utilize that tool right there, Natural Reader, and definitely get a lot of this reading done so I can catch up, because that's ingenious. But I just wanted to drop that in so people didn't feel discouraged, because I know when sometimes we can, unfortunately, by epigenetics, we cannot be natural readers now, you know. So maybe that tool can help us get back into it and just kind of like help us, and so we can get that information with no excuses.
Yep. I had to reprogram how I did things. Like, it's a lot of, especially like when you start figuring out how the United States works, a lot of the stuff that's put into your head is bullshit. Like the music you listen to, everything. Like you gotta start putting daily positive stuff in your head. So like I'll ride. I still listen to music, but a lot of the time I'm listening to a podcast or I got the book just reading as I'm riding, right?
Right.
So I'm taking it in, even if I don't get it. So constantly I'm getting it. I'll go back and re-listen to it, and now
re-listen to it. Right. That's what I like what you said. Like I'll play it and allow it to get into my subconscious because I could have other things on my mind.
Yep.
But because it's in there, when I listen to it again, it almost feels like I kind of know a little bit in a sense because I do, but it hits different, or I connect to it a little faster. So, but no, it's definitely an ingenious tool, and if we use that at least every day, you know what I'm saying? 30. You'd be surprised how much 30 minutes of somebody else reading. You may go through half a book, average size book, or you know what I'm saying, a decent sized section of a lot of documents, just letting somebody else read for 30 minutes. So I just wanted to drop that jewel in there.
Yep. For I am everything that governs negotiable instruments is in the UCC. You can either look under the UCC under negotiable instruments that actually have a section called negotiable instruments, or just search your state code and type in. I'm in Tennessee, so I'll search Tennessee code, then I'll type in Tennessee code negotiable instruments, type it into Google, and it'll take you exactly to your state code that talks about negotiable instruments and transfer and discharge and all of it. No more questions? It's a handful. It's a lot to wrap your mind around. It's a handful.
And so, Shawn, as far as like small business, throughout the years, we have had our shit together, and we have had communities growing and thriving. I don't want to just bring up the Oklahoma days because there's been a lot of time, like Black Wall Street, and we've always been doing things and setting the pace as far as money goes, as far as it goes now. Like the most money being spent on the planet is us, by us. That's why everybody wants a piece. Everybody wants to get into our neighborhoods because we spend money, right? And so we don't know anything about it. Imagine the power that we would have if we all knew how to conduct ourselves like consumers. Imagine.
Yeah. I mean, most people just will never accept this. So,
but do you know about like how we have built up the city in Oklahoma, and how people from all over the world were coming into our hood to trade with us and do business.
Kind of like Atlanta is now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we are gonna always like get together and thrive.
With Black people is our history isn't our history. Name one place where you've ever seen a slave ship capable of carrying thousands of slaves across the sea. Like, you never see these slave ships.
If there was one, it would be in one of their museums.
Like, yeah, they actually have museums over the slavery shit, and there's none. Like, there isn't. We were the people who were originally here, majority of us. Some of us were brought here from other places, but the majority of Black people here were the Indians. Indians are from India. There are Native Americans and there are Indians. Like, the Native Americans that you see were not the actual Native Americans that were here. They were us.
They could have been, because if you understand that we had to be the original people of all the lands, before the mailman came along.
If you start looking back in the history, like, a lot of the civilization that is ran on came from the Moors. Like, people stole it, whitewashed it, made it theirs, but it came from them.
Right. Even
science, technology, all that stuff that stems from their teaching. So it's
exactly. Right, and they're
You can't
always
trust
going to be
history.
plagiarizing and whiting shit out
Hmm.
and making up shit.
The strongest person writes history. So a lot of our history is Roman history. This is why you don't hear anything about black people in this country prior to slavery, because if they told you prior to slavery that you were natives on the land and you were smoking peace pipes and you was doing
Right.
all this
Yeah,
more
trading,
more earthly,
bartering, bartering, trading.
yeah, yeah. If they told you this, it would change things. Thanksgiving, we celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, they murdered a bunch of us.
And
Majority of the holidays was built on the murder of us. Like,
and since you're putting it out, understand like all of those wars, if you go back from the 1800s, the 1900s, the 1700s, even all of those wars that's in Wikipedia were against us. We've been fighting them since forever.
the issue, since black is like, it's made up, it's not really a nationality.
Or race.
It's harder for black people to stand because we can't unite like that. It's not like black people can't unite. It's just they've brainwashed everyone to I'm black and I'm proud, not knowing that black is a dead color. You can't be black. I'm not black. I'm brown. Like I don't look black, but you identify as black when you should be identifying as
So
American.
here's the deal. Here's what I see. It's not so much that we don't want to know things. It's more so is that we haven't learned to play the game. We don't know what the chess pieces do and how they move. It's like you said. It's all how they move. Right.
None of it. Like there's
So,
so many moves to make. It's like when one family, like when one white family gets something that helps, they pass that down through their kids, and their kids expound upon it, and it gets bigger and bigger and better and better and better. So once one person in this white family understands credit, he builds wealth for his family. He teaches his kids, and then they do the same thing, and they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Most black people, I mean, up until now, still don't really understand credit. Most people don't really understand what money is and how money is used and what you're actually doing, what a promissory note actually is. So it's once you start figuring some of it out, you can fly. You do whatever you want to do.
what is Karakwa want to say? They bought them here. If they, I know by they you mean Moors bought them, meaning them, the European here.
Mm-hmm. You gotta look at it. It's like every place has dark-skinned people that are discriminated against.
But
So
not like niggas.
in their place, I mean, America is set up differently. So if a nigga goes out of America, the discrimination will go away from the American discrimination, and it'll go to you're just a piece of shit American. It won't be you're a nigger. It'll be you're an American. They might call you a nigger, but it's not going to be as bad as the United States has made the concept of race and white and Asian, and it's really big here. It's not as big other places, because in other places there's all kinds of different skinned people. Like a brown person is
Diversity.
you could be Hispanic, you can be Indian, you could be Arabic, and y'all can all have the same skin color as me, and we could all be in the same room and all be completely different nationalities. So
Right.
black is not recognized anywhere outside the United States and the culture,
Right.
which is not owned by black people. So the culture is owned by Jewish people, not even the real Jewish people.
Truth be known,
Like, yeah. So
we know. We woke. We've been woke.
yep. And then they give you so much bullshit to concentrate on that people don't really sit down and read no more. It's too much. It's information overload. It's movie overload. It's experience overload, and they pump experience at you. And you sit all day on Instagram and TikTok watching people live their life and do fun stuff, not thinking that They're purposely pushing this to you to make you want to do this.
Right.
So now you follow a bunch of vacation channels because you like vacationing, and now only thing you can think about is vacation, and now your life feels bad because you're not being able to vacation like these people that you watch in vacation. But the system is made to make you want, so you incur debt. Like,
Yeah, and all kinds of fuckery. Peace to the guy D Calico who just showed up in the house.
what's good, bro?
What's going on? Peace to the gods.
All right.
Like, I feel like the whole
Peace, Cali. Peace.
All right.
Show king.
put in people's pockets. This like it's like the best and worst thing you can do. I mean, it gives you access to all the information in the world, but most people use it for bullshit.
Right. Right. Because they didn't read the manual.
Not even the matter. You can use a phone. A phone is a computer. You can use it for making money. You can use it for educating yourself. You can use it for basically organizing pretty much whatever you want to use it for. Most people talk and surf the web and do social media. How about my mom she got the fold 2, the jump that fold out like that. I'm like, Mom, that phone is more powerful than your computer. And you don't even use like 10% of what that phone can do for your life. That phone can pretty much do everything for you. There's an app or something for anything, any question that you have, ask Google. Someone's gonna talk about it and read some shit. Like that's like people take it for granted. Like just Google. If you have a question, Google it.
So all these cons are really just playing the game. I'm talking about each system, the religious system, educational, whatever.
You gotta think. Okay, so you
all
gotta
in the same game, and we don't get it. We don't get none of the rules.
You gotta think like this, right? And in the United States of America, you got hung for reading, right?
Right.
You think they would share their God with you?
Hell no.
Like you gotta really think about that. Do you think they would share their God with us if it wasn't something behind it, like something
and that's what the deal is. What you're doing is synchronizing all of their shit. Because if you don't, and you're only just worrying about that institution or that system, you miss that all the systems share these mechanisms to keep you out of tune, keep you distracted, keep you not knowing who you are, not knowing shit, not no good information, right?
Yeah.
All of these systems together are against us, all of them. But
it's not even it's they're not necessarily against us. It's just we don't know how to use them. Like Equifax is getting busted right now. If you got a bad credit score on Equifax, now is the time to hit them. They're getting slapped right now. Everybody is hitting them up. I think their system went down a couple days ago.
That's the best. They don't.
They got caught reporting false information. They got caught reporting false credit reports, credit scores, and everything. Like, so they getting slapped. Now, if you want to remove something from Equifax, do it now. Like, and it's really not hard once you. The hardest part about this is the understanding of this is what I can do and I'm gonna do it, because they're gonna tell you can't. They're gonna tell you can't do it. They're gonna tell you this isn't lawful. They're gonna tell you that this and this, and you're not a lawyer. You don't even know this laws. You don't even know what the fuck I'm sending you.
Lawyers don't even know the law.
Because most schooling is taught through books. You don't actually learn the code. You learn someone's perceptive of the code.
And then they have to keep their secret part out. They're never going to tell you all the secrets.
Because once you become a lawyer, it's so much information you don't have time to look into this. Once they point you right here, your entire career is right here. You're going to spend an entire career learning the loopholes of this one section of law. You're not going to have time to look into it.
And that's all. Like, you have to join the bar. The BAR is only gonna like they do doctors and nurses. You only need this information. You don't need to know what they're doing all out here healthcare business and all of that. Here they protocol. They're under strict protocol for whatever symptom that you say. If even if they wanted to do the right thing and say, hey, just stop eating this or just stop eating that, they'll just let you be sick and take this medication.
But you got to pay the medication.
Why they don't feel bad at the end of the day of all the people they fucked up?
The United States is about population control. They slowly poison everybody, and for different people, some people get cancer, some people get dementia, some people go blind, some people die. Like it depends on how your body take these chemicals that they add to your food and your water. Like water has water has additives in it. Your water shouldn't have ingredients. It's water. But your water will have added ingredients, and you getting this super strong water that's doing this great shit for my body. Like, no, that stuff is not supposed to go in your body. A lot of that added stuff ain't supposed to go in your body. So this is why people eat Skittles for 15 years and then find out Skittles fucked them up. Skittles gave me something. I've been eating Skittles for 15 years. Well, Skittles got a bunch of shit in it that's not supposed to go in your body. It tastes delicious. I love Skittles. You got to eat that shit in moderation. Like you got to
like once every 3 months.
Start changing what you put into your body. It'll change a lot of things, because you got to think that the human body is a supercomputer. It heals itself.
It's like the cold shit.
It does pretty much everything. Every disease or virus you get is from something outside of your body going inside of your body.
And it's built to live.
How to flush that shit. You can get rid of majority of shit. You just got to find out how to flush that shit.
Right. Listen, the body is built to what.
Which is. No, I was just gonna say, just simply sweating is the best way. You know what I mean? To filter all of that kind of stuff out of your body.
Sweating, fasting, yo.
Yeah, fasting.
They tell you when you turn age 50, you got to go get a colonoscopy to get the shit pumped out your stomach. Why do you have all this shit in your stomach? Your body is not supposed to just hold shit.
I mean, it's dehydration.
How is it holding an and storing?
It's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff. You eating. A lot of people, most people have like 5 to 10 pounds of shit in their body.
Yeah,
your intestines and shit. Like it's you're ingesting stuff. Your body.
That's still the water, though. What I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fucked up shit that your body might not be able to break down. They're putting all these preservatives. So fruit is supposed to die in like 5 to 7 days. Like your fruit shouldn't be lasting 2 weeks. If you got a banana that lasts you 2 weeks, you better not eat that banana. Like
them big yellow bananas ain't really no good anyways. You know, them burros the best one.
Majority of the fruit over here ain't even real fruit. It's their genetically modified fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Watermelons with no seeds. Them ain't real watermelons. Watermelons have seeds in them. And anywhere else in the world you go and you eat watermelon, you finna be spitting seeds. But if you get some seedless ones, it tastes like watermelon.
And we should be taking the seeds and replanting.
Yeah.
You can't if it ain't done.
Well, yeah.
They know that would happen on accident because we be eating and spitting them out.
Yep. Once I start looking into this and found out that majority of the shit that you know on this earth is a lie, and it's been told to you by somebody, you don't have verifiable proof. It's been told to you by somebody, whether it be your parents, whether it be the judicial system, whether it be something like. Majority of the shit is bullshit.
Hey, since everything is in reverse, what if the book of demonology is really the Bible, and what we call in the Bible is the book of demonology? You know what I'm saying?
I don't even really go into religion like that no more, because it's so much. Because they talk about it, and even when you go into the Bible, they talk about God is a jealous God. God has both good and evil in him.
Yeah, he said he do.
He's not just good. He has both good and evil in him. God is capable of doing both.
He said, I perform the good and I create the evil.
Yeah, now you're gods. Now you're gods. You know, like liking unto us, knowing both good and evil.
Mm-hmm. So all that is just based on your interpretation. I feel like religion, the basic aspect for me of religion and spirituality is just live your life happily and be good to people.
Yeah.
Like it don't matter what religion you are, or what you study, or who you choose. Like there's basic principles that go into every religion, and that's just overall being a good person.
Right.
I don't know about every religion, but yeah.
Well, not every, but majority of the religions that we actually talk about.
Well, it's definitely the common law that stands in this United States and this world. Common law is basically the golden rule: do unto others.
Law is law. That's the
Don't
only
harm
law.
nobody. Don't harm nobody. Don't do shit to nobody.
Live your life happy.
Yeah.
And then they put all this stuff.
Let others be happy.
You ain't got to steal. We all millionaires. You just got to learn how to tap into your money. You ain't got to steal. You ain't got to want. You ain't got to deal with all of that stuff. It's just you got to learn how to do it. And then once that goes away, once the need for money goes away, a lot of the crime will go away, because most crime is need for money. Like you broke, or you robbing somebody, or something else fucked up happened. Your marriage got divorced because of this money. Like financial stuff affects a lot of our lives, and it's just like, take it out your life, make it so it don't mean that much. You'll live happier. Like I ain't had a bad day in like 8-9 months now, like because it's nothing is really that serious, bar like a family member passing or me getting into a car accident or something messed up like that. Everything else is not really that serious.
Right? It ain't.
Not enough for me to get worked up over. Like,
right. That's why I'm finna play these games with my landlord, like just for the hell of it, because it's fun. Worst case scenario, we get tossed, but so what? We're moving anyway.
Yeah.
He have my fun. Let me test some shit. Let me see how much he know. Let me impress him.
He's not gonna know this stuff. Most people. The head of my mom's mortgage.
He didn't do his work.
So we said
this is 32 unit. 32 units. He's over. He's head over.
You don't know. I mean, probably none of them has probably ever did this before. Like, all right, so I sent an assignment of rights to my mom's mortgage company, CFO. He sent it back to the person that she signed the mortgage with and told her to ask her, what is this? Because I don't know what to do with it. You know, you deal in negotiable instruments every day and you don't know what to do with it. Like, you need to be fired, bro, or you lying, one of the two. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Or, you know, the Illuminati, the powers that be ain't giving up them real secrets yet.
But you gotta when you deal with like banks and stuff, like they transfer all the time. They transfer for collection. So you know what you should know what a transfer of an instrument is, because when we contract and I don't pay, you're going to transfer that debt to them so they can come and try to collect on me. So you know what it is, or you're just stupid. Like, it's got to be one of the two. Like, that don't make no sense to me. You do it every day. Right?
And my field of study, when I was just testing, when I was being a test technician, I was just following procedure.
Mm-hmm.
But when I became the technician who wrote the test procedure, game changed. Because now I need a 5-year-old to be able to follow my written instructions, or else I'm not doing a good job in writing my test procedures. Okay? I want to be able to walk up to somebody and say, hey, do this. Do this according to the instructions. And then they'll say, no, it don't say do that. Then we know we got to get more thorough. Every step to be on record, and you need to be crossing off every step. You shouldn't be down here and you didn't do none of these or even read that. This is what happens to our people. I know this from being an engineer all of my working life, which is 30 plus years. Okay? I understand that if you can't do my test procedure, then you're just not reading. You're not reading.
And I mean, that's the problem that bothers me, because if I'm sending it to the CFO, you're the person over this. You know. You don't know your job. Like, yeah, you're a bad CFO. You need to be fired if you don't know your job, because y'all do this every day. Your clerks know what an assignment of right is. They just don't know that you as a person can do it. They do it to banks. Most people know what you're talking about. They just don't understand that you as a person can do it. Right. Because they've only seen it from corporation. That was my mom's hardest grasp. Is this is corporation to corporation. I'm dealing with businesses here. Like, you're still dealing with businesses. And so everything is commerce is business. So you're still dealing with businesses.
Yeah, and your name is written in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
That corporation that you're dealing with.
Actually, what was
on your pay stub? It's in all caps. It's in all caps. Your employer's name is in all caps.
Quote it. I screenshotted the law so I can quote it, where it say that the United States is a federal corporation. Like, I need that.
They are, and they have been for a while.
Yeah, but they don't express it everywhere.
Calico, you still in the house? Calico. Calico's got it down pat on that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's 28 USC 3002.
28. Can you run that again, bro? 28.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it and pull it up.
Okay. Put my glasses on.
Right there. United States means a federal corporation, an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States, an instrumentality of the United States. United States Marshal means United States Marshal, a deputy marshal of the United States. So that's when I write stuff specifying what the United States is. This is the code I send them.
And let me check this out, Shawn. In the United States, their corporate headquarters is in Washington, D.C., right?
Yep.
So do you know that Washington, D.C. is called a city-state?
Mm-hmm. The District of Columbia is
only. But listen, there's only 3 city-states in the world. And Washington, D.C. is one, and London is another, and I believe Vatican is the third. They're city-states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The District of Columbia, everyone is considered to be domiciled inside the District of Columbia. That's where we all came. That's where we're supposed to be. That's how they get away with the U.S. citizen thing, because we're all domiciled in the District of Columbia.
And you can tie it into maritime law now.
Yeah, the District of Columbia is only the land that the White House sits on. Like that's.
And the White House is the corporation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the corporation.
That's the headquarters. That's the
city state with its own militia. You know.
You can do that. You can do that. You can make your own nation.
You can.
Yeah. This how you get federal immunity or diplomatic immunity. That's one of the ways you get diplomatic immunity. You can register your own nation. If you read the Registration Act, they talk about documents that you can register. Like they registered federal districts. Like you can register your own state. If you start going into the UN code, right? They start talking about the rights of states and the ability of states to sue each other. That'll. If you start reading the UN code, it'll put more in perspective about how the United States actually works from a state to state to state to state providence, and they put it all together and made another government over the top. The UN governs the states, so it'll tell you the different things you can do as a state, the different movements you can do, like how you can sue, how you cannot be sued. Like it's a bunch of information. Like it's a bunch. So that's my next. I'm looking into getting access to money right now. I'm gonna spend this next couple months waiting to get access to money. I got a couple things out that I'm just waiting to hear back from.
Yeah, buddy.
Once I do that, I'm diving in the diplomatic immunity because me and my family finna be traveling, and yeah, I don't want to be touched by cops anywhere. I don't want to be stopped, especially over here. I want to be able to do whatever I want. I don't carry my driver's license. If I get pulled over, sir, here's my passport card. I am traveling. I am not driving. You're speeding. I am not speeding. I am not able to speed. You can say that the car was speeding.
Exactly.
It wasn't speeding.
That's the jargon we need to learn, Shawn. We need to learn
words mean things.
A living soul and what it means to be like a person.
Mm-hmm. Because so I can't speed. It's impossible for me.
Right.
Like once you get diplomatic immunity, you can do whatever you want.
It's impossible for anybody to approach you about speeding if you haven't hit nobody.
No, because the speed limit is a code. It's a stature. It's something that you have to follow if you're in commerce. So if you're driving for money, you have to follow the speed limit. If you're not driving for money, you don't have to follow the speed limit.
Exactly.
The issue is if you go out there and you start speeding and you don't have your stuff set up the way you are, you go get pulled over. And
right, exactly.
Some cops will arrest you for not signing the ticket, which you don't have to sign it legally. You don't have to. But some cops
tell them, Shawn, if you sign it under duress.
Sign it under duress and extortion.
Yeah, and kidnapping. If you're gonna take
when you come back home, write up an affidavit basically saying that this man is bullshit and he doesn't have a right to serve me this ticket. I do not agree to this. I do not consent to anything that you want to. I'm not going under your jurisdiction. I'm not doing none of this. Get it notarized, get it ran on the record, and send it to him. Here you go. Send it with the ticket back. Here you go. It'll just go away. They'll stop responding. What you'll notice is they'll keep telling you that you owe them or you have to do something, but they'll never actually make a move on you a lot of the time. First starting off, when you get to a point where you know exactly what you're doing and you moving the way you're supposed to move, you'll defer the liability up front. Like you won't even incur any liability. You won't even have to do this because you'll start entering contracts with companies saying this is how this contract is going to go. I know I can do it. If you don't know you can do it, that's on you, bro. So the law is not an excuse. If you decide not to deal with me, I can either take my money somewhere else or I can mess up your company. One of the two, however you want to run it.
Yep. Give you a nice big headache.
Like, yep.
A year.
I try to be nice. I try not to like mess people up. If I can get around screwing up somebody's life, because it's really the corporation, it's not the person. They just doing the job. So
unless the person.
Unless you a dick, like you a dick, you an asshole, you personally doing stuff and talking crazy to me, then I do, because I started to put a lien on this BMW company in Atlanta because I wanted the I-8, and the dude kind of lied to me, and I was like, bro, you lying, and you already know you got to follow these laws, but I was like, that'll be bogus to just ruin that man's life real quick because I wanted a car. So I was like, I ain't gonna do it.
Let there be somebody else. Shit.
Yeah.
Car over rude bitches any day.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just so many ways to do it. It's just a matter of you figuring out how to get it done. So I try. I'm all about positivity and just I ain't trying to bring that negative in nobody's life unless you want it and you just
love is the strongest frequency.
I don't care.
Sometimes you even gotta balance that shit out.
Yeah, I got too much shit to worry about. Then I try my best not to allow outside things to affect me, like in my emotions. Like I'm human, so it happens, but I try my best not to let people and things affect it. No reason being not happy. Like
for real. Then you know you're walking as a god.
Yep. Life is great and it's getting better. So
It's good. That's why we like you on the show, Shawn, because it seems like you've done your due diligence and doing what you're supposed to be doing while you're here on this earth plane this time. Are you waiting to go to heaven before you can get your goodies? No. You get your shit right here on earth, right? You're doing the work that's
because
necessary.
really, faith is a beautiful thing to a certain extent, but no one really knows what heaven is or what it's going to be like or how or anything like that. What happens at the end, you've never really talked to anyone at the end. Everything that you know about the afterlife is from books and people telling you what it is. You don't really know. So enjoy it while you're here, because you don't really know.
Why put all your eggs in one basket?
Yeah. Like you don't, it's places I want to see. Like my mom has been traveling pretty much nonstop since she broke. She in DC now. She was in Atlanta for her birthday like last weekend. We was in North Carolina. She was in Louisiana. Like she been going, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I want to be able to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give you the peace of mind to be able to just enjoy it. You live and then you die. Like the stuff in between, the bills and shit don't really matter. You can't take your bill with you, just like you can't take money.
And why like put yourself in a depression?
Yep. Over somebody saying that you owe them.
Bill is gonna be turned
because your credit is bad or something like that. Like, and even with electric and water, if you actually read your stuff, there's stuff you could do to block them from cutting it off. Right? All you got to do is dispute it like before they cut it off, and they can't legally cut your water off. They can't legally cut your electricity off.
Without going through the whole arbitration process.
Yep. And that's going to be months to years. So you just got free electricity. They can't even charge you during the arbitration process. Now, if they win, they're going to back charge you. But once you understand how to do,
you got right there.
Companies there, it's a verbal agreement. It's not even a real contract. Like it's not a real contract. I think it's anything over like $50, either $50 or $500 has to be put in writing. Like it has to be signed. It has to be put in writing. So if you have a verbal contract with most people, it's voidable. It's super easily voidable.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Yeah. No more questions. Everybody good?
So far, everything you said is being tested right now. Yep. I'm gonna see.
I expect to come here and have people talking about, I got some credit cards and I got this and I got that. Because this is an easy way of cleaning your credit up within 30 to 60 days, just depending on, just watch the video, go back over it, read some of the laws. I gave the way to clean it in the system, and then I gave the way to clean it with you being the original creditor. So just go read understand the laws and just clean your credit up. Once you get your credit to a point where they won't deny you, because now they can't deny you, but you got to go through a process. Once you get it to a point where you got a 750, 800 and your credit score is looking nice because all your stuff is paid off and you got like 20 some things on your credit report showing positive payments, now you good. You can make moves. And it even get deeper than that. If you look into zombie debt, right? You can buy people's old debt and report it to your credit report as paid.
What? Buy somebody's old debt and report
it. Please expound on that, please, brother. Please.
Put them on Front Street, Tazz.
What you say?
Put them on Front Street. Give him the screen. Give him the screen.
What, the disclaimer?
Oh, the disclaimer.
Give him the screen, the whole display, so he can expound on that.
Oh yeah. You could share your screen if you want to, bro.
All right. You want me to share?
Put him on the whole thing by itself.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, give him. Yeah, expound on that, Shawn.
All right, so when dealing with credit, the Credit Privacy Act, there's a loophole that's called a CPN, which is a credit privacy number that people use to keep their identity different. And I mean, you can create your own CPN. You can create an alternate credit score. My sister created one and got approved for a car the same day, right? The issue with it was, since it didn't have any credit on it, you got to get credit. You got to have credit on it, because if you got a credit score with no credit on it, you're going to start hitting flags. So they was like, I want a copy of the Social Security card, which she didn't have at the time. But all this it's all legal as long as you don't use it to like make debts and not pay them. Like, But I was just telling you about the CPN. Zombie debt is basically, all right, so after, say you got a loan with a bank, you got a credit card, $6,000, they write it off and they sell it to this company, and this company is trying to collect. After a certain amount of time, they can't collect legally on this debt from you anymore. So that debt becomes zombie debt, and it's just sitting on their books, right? So they sell them at a discounted price to people. Most debt collectors do it. They sell it at a discounted price because they're not finna get no money off of it. So now they just wanting, just give me something for it. Like, you need to know what it is. But if you want to buy a yacht and you want to buy a $4 million yacht, all you got to do is go find a debt collector that has a yacht on there that someone defaulted on, purchase that yacht debt. You can assign it to your credit report and assign it as paid off. Now, your credit score will show that you have a paid off yacht on it. So when you go to actually finance this brand new $4 million yacht, you're going to get it, right? Because most, like cars, there's levels. You can't get a $20,000 car and then go straight to a $100,000 car. It don't work that way. Right? They're not going to let you. You get a $20,000 car, the next is like a $40,000, then it's 60, and then you can move up. Like, it's levels to it. So if you want to get a Lamb or something like that, you need to purchase zombie Lambo debt and put it on your credit report and report it as paid off. And all this, you can Google all this. You can look into it. I suggest you do your own research and just Google zombie debt and start learning about zombie debt. But you can put a paid off Lambo on your credit report. So then when you go to apply for the Lambo or for a Bentley or for a Bugatti or whatever to finance it completely, they'll finance it for you. And once you understand contract law, you know you can defer the payment. Credit is payable instantly. So once they approve you, you can walk off with that car and not have to pay anything for it. Ever.
That's crazy.
Credit is powerful. Credit is amazing. It's once you figure it out, it could change your life. It could like it's yeah. And they're all private companies. So it would be like,
so
the credit, you could start a credit bureau and start collecting people's information. That's all credit bureaus are. They collect people's information. They sell and buy information. You can start your own credit bureau. Like, it's a private company. They're all private companies.
That would be pretty cool if you could do a video on the zombie debt. That'd definitely be pretty cool.
Yeah, we might go into that on the next one. Give people a little time. I was thinking about doing the next one on enforcement.
Shawn,
because it's
tell them what your Cash App is, because we went through some things and now we're redoing some things. Otherwise, we would have it already in here.
Yeah, I mean it's $ pay with sauce. But yeah, I'm coming up with like a little curriculum where it's gonna have stuff that you could just watch the videos and learn. It's gonna walk you through it, give a little bit more understanding. I do tell people that you need to, if you don't really like reading and you don't like doing paperwork, you're gonna have a really hard time doing this process. So just kind of get used to that. But I look at it like, if the only thing I gotta do is type up 2 or 3 letters and send it out, and that's all the work I gotta do all week, like that's like 4 hours of work for a whole week. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That's crazy how you can do it. I mean, once you get the credit, like really, you could just live off loans. Take out a $30,000 loan every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a year and live debt free. That is
pay the other loan off, and then
defer it. Just transfer it to a bank. Let them pay it for you.
Is that the right? Was that right? Pay with sauce?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
all
it.
Right. So if you like what Shawn is doing, then shit, send him some love.
You can for that you can. A lot of the credit card companies you're probably going to have to fight. Like I'm currently seeking a better way of doing that. One of my credit card companies just reset it. I got a PayPal credit account, and it's only like $1,000, but it resets every month, and I just pull the money off, and then But like my other credit cards, they're fighting me on it. So I'm going through my administrative process with it. But originally, that's how it's supposed to. If you look up what a credit card account is, and it's an extension of your own credit. So you should be able to swipe it and they pay it every month. You just got to get it to that point. So there's a couple ways I'm going through trying to find out how I can get it. If you looked in the CFR, there was a section over ETFs, which is electric fund transfer payments.
Right.
So electric fund transfer payments is just transfers from different accounts to accounts. Since your Social Security card is a credit card and your license is a credit card, these are all tied to accounts with money in them, and you should be able to route it through a bank and pay stuff. I've paid stuff with my Social Security number. I've paid stuff with my license number. I didn't give the correct authorization, so like 2 weeks later they reset it all and they kicked it all back. But I just reading through that act, I think I found out how to give them authorization for them to allow me to route my Social Security money directly from my bank. And then when you get to that point, you really don't even have to talk to them. You could just route it, take this ETF, route it this way, and they pull it out of your Social Security account and route it through your bank.
Hey, so my bad, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, no, I was just gonna say, I don't know if y'all seen the news recently. An 11-year-old, he hacked the Swiss bank account and transferred 75 billion to his dad's account. You feel me? He was 11 years old. They say, can you ask for more in a son? You feel me? Like
take his kid. That's woo. They finna take him. He finna be a government employee.
Yeah, he is. You're right. For the rest of his life.
Yep.
You're right. That's what they do.
Smarts, and you can do that, bro. We finna put you to work for us, and you finna be hacking people's accounts. Cybersecurity is serious money. You just, woo. I know they probably gonna lock his dad up for
it. Little man in court, goddamn, about to get sentenced. What? 11 years old, yeah. But you know they can't do nothing major to him. Like you said,
he gonna go to juvenile possibly for a while and get out. But you stole billions.
No,
bro.
they immediately gonna put him in a class and pick his brain, try to find out how
he'll go to juvenile. They gonna move him to a special program, and he gonna end up being some type of CIA agent or something.
Yeah, he got it going on.
It got to be fair. We talking about 75 billion with a B. You know,
you gotta think about this. Even like hacking computers and stuff, it's not really hard. You just got to understand it. And most people don't take the time to understand it. Once you start reading code and stuff, you'll start understanding code and you'll be able to do that stuff too. It's just most people, they'll see code and they'll be like, oh, that's too hard. And they'll just ignore it. Kind of like these laws. They'll see the law and be like, oh, this means this, but it's too hard to understand. And they'll start reading. But once you understand it, your whole everything changes.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I seen a thick ass book, like a phone book. And it said computer code for dummies. I was scared to read that motherfucker. You hear me? I say, shit, that's a phone book. And that's for dummies? God damn.
Mm-hmm. It's just all over the law books like that. It's like that. They like this. The UCC, it was like that thick. I was
what? I don't believe everybody's reading those, bro. I think a lot of people are using those apps like you just said. Because that's just like it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. That's why I try to read every day, read a little bit every day, because it takes to understand.
Like the Bible. Like the same way people put all their energy to the Bible. Yeah, you got to do the same thing. And just when you think, oh, hey, you bragging everybody, I read the whole thing. Motherfucker, read it again.
You're going to get a whole different stuff is going to hit you. You got a better.
You're going to be stronger. Yeah, every time you go through it, you stronger and stronger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what it is exactly. You just gotta start taking in. If you want to learn something, you just got to start taking in the information. That's what they teach you in school. That's how you learn. They taught your brain how to learn, so you need to use that to learn. Like
you are
taught you how to learn.
School did at least teach us how to learn. Taught you how to study
a certain way. It taught you exactly how you need to learn.
How to do math. So it gave you technically everything that you need. It just didn't give you.
It really showed you the wrong way to do everything.
Mm-hmm. They showed you their way of using it.
Yeah, their way of doing the micromanaging ass way. You know, that's what they their expertise is micromanaging. That's it. Nothing else I can say they really experts in. But whatever it is, they micromanage.
When you say, Shine, you're using the same skills that you learned from school right now.
Yep.
You're just not learning about
to like. I went through a period where I wasn't reading. Like reading wasn't fun. It's boring. Like reading is boring, right? So I couldn't to retrain my mind to get back to a point where I'm cool with reading. I had to go back to the stuff that they taught me how to do in high school. You need to be in a quiet room. You need to be sitting here for a while. You need to set a time period. Like you have an attention span. Some people can read for 30 minutes. Some people can read for 5 hours. Depending on your attention span, you need to take breaks. You need to comprehend.
Right.
You need to look up words. Like it's certain things that you learned from learning. When you had a spelling bee, how did you memorize those words? You got to remember how you did that and go back and start doing that stuff. Your brain will remember, and you'll start picking it up. You got to relearn learning.
Yeah. That attention span is something else.
You
know,
and everybody's is different.
I ain't gonna lie, nothing puts me to sleep better than reading. I be an insomniac. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably the only reason I know so much, because I be trying to read myself to sleep, and sometimes it don't really do it. But boy, I tell you, man, sleeping. I mean, reading really will goddamn work on that brain, man.
I do too. That's the same thing.
How you feeling weird?
Majority of my reading is right before I go to bed. I just lay in bed and I read, and I go to sleep when my body says go to sleep.
Yep.
I might read through a couple stuff today. I might read this paragraph and be knocked out. Like you never really know. But as long as you
I be mad, I don't be remembering where I left off.
Yeah, that too. And then
hold up.
Once you start reading,
some of it.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, I got that. Okay, I know that. Oh, this is new. Like it's this. Yeah, just relearning learning how to use what they taught you for your benefit, because they gave it to you for your benefit. Everything you just gotta learn how to use it for that.
Yeah,
majority of my life. So you know how to learn.
Yep, you got to transmute that energy. You feel me?
And figure out what's important. Like Netflix is cool, but them shits ain't helping your life out. The videos ain't helping you. Like,
but I was telling somebody that's the reason why they call TikTok, because it's stealing your attention span.
Every second.
TikTok in China and our TikTok is completely different.
Oh yeah,
it's a weapon in the United States.
Yeah,
it's actually used as a weapon in the United States.
Weaponized.
You have a time limit. You can only be on TikTok for a certain amount of time. They only show certain stuff. And when that time limit is off, your TikTok will kick you out for the day. You can't get back on it, right? So over here, they just put a bunch of nonsense in your face, and you just watch it.
Stimulation.
Take in a bunch of bullshit. So now you don't know what's real and what's fake, because it all makes sense. Like it all makes sense. Like now you don't know what's real and what's fake. They just feed you a whole bunch of bullshit, and you spend 3-4 hours a day just scrolling through it. I do it too. I still do it. Just I make myself get off and read. Okay, I didn't been on this motherfucker for about 30 minutes. I need to put something good in
right. I'd be like, damn, how long I've been on here? Hold on, let me exercise my brain for real. Like, let me play chess or something like that to make my head work. I've been sitting here watching this bullshit. Most of it is relationship stuff, trying to fuck up our relationship culture anyways. Majority of putting men versus women, women versus men.
Yep.
So you take that in, and then you realize why I can't keep a relationship with a girl, because
a lot of thirst, like a lot of thirst traps. You know what I mean?
Traps. Yeah, it's a lot. The whole culture is fucked up, but
it's so fucked up. You ain't got to look for it. As soon as you scroll,
it's
there. It's there, and don't let your lady be there. It'll make you look guilty, like you a problem.
And
like,
she just
no, TikTok. This is what they do.
Yeah, they just show you stuff. It just pop up now. You can't get mad at me for this girl booty twerking. Like it was just showed up on my timeline.
And I'm not gay. So you know what I'm saying? They be, you know, it be crazy.
You just happen to see it.
It ain't easy being a man, I tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yep. But I feel like social media is they're trying to turn men into women and women into men, and that shit is super clashing. Y'all want to be like it's super clashing, and it's all indoctrination. It's in the movies, it's in the social media, it's in everything.
Man, it was something y'all said so deep, I let slip my mind. It was something y'all said deep as hell, but I be trying to be patient. I forgot.
I don't even remember.
Hey, right before TikTok, you was talking about something.
Calico, I was challenging you to a question, and I couldn't find you, but I can remember what I was talking about.
What is this?
I wanted to hear your version on consumerism. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Versus
in the United States, as far as a consumer versus a person, or like we were talking about indigenous. Break that down. Break down some etymology.
Yeah, you know, I was just speaking with you about the indigenous thing. Like, I definitely got a bone to pick with the whole community. You know, everybody be want to claim indigenous. You know, I'd be like, that's like saying a pineapple is indigenous. You feel me? It can't be. You feel me? It's a hybrid. It is what it is. There's no way around it. You feel me? But everybody feel like they gotta have that term indigenous. If you're not, you're not, man. God damn, like, is that a problem? You know what I mean? Like, people probably need to cling to that word native more so than they would like to. You feel me? Because a lot of people are still native. I can't change that. You feel me? And they can't change and make themselves indigenous. You know what I mean? Like, every plant is not indigenous to America. I ask most people, what's your favorite three, you know what I'm saying, your top 3 favorite fruits? You're gonna be naming some shit that ain't from here.
Somewhere else, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, like most animals. Like, people wouldn't even know what animal is probably indigenous unless you're gonna just say your state bird. That's your best chance. You know what I mean? Other than that, we don't have a damn clue unless we do the research. You know? So a lot of people claim indigenous, but they'll tell you 3 different bloodlines. And I'm German, I'm German, French, and Powhatan.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't indigenous.
That's what I tell people. Just get off the titles. The titles don't mean anything. It's what happens. Being sovereign, being indigenous, being native, it don't matter. It's just how you live your life. Like, get off the title.
Check this out. That's what the average person would think until Calico broke it down. Let's break indigenous down, Calico.
I'm not saying like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I know that. I know that.
For instance, if you're a person and you're getting caught up on trying to live up to a title of something, right? When everyone is trying to do the same thing, you might call it something else. Just don't get hung up on the titles. Like, everybody just wants to live a certain type of way. Like, just like every religion has a different term for a god or what they call their god. It's still the same, basically.
So check.
Yeah, you're totally right about that. Like, most of the fruits and the vegetables aren't actually natural. Especially the ones here. Like, I don't think any food here, to be honest with you, is natural. I think it's some form of a hybrid.
Yeah.
Oranges, the carrots, bananas, you name it. It's some form of a hybrid.
A lot of them. I ain't gonna lie. Most definitely. Even a lot of things is not from here. Like we were just saying, the mango is literally from India, and everybody love mangoes, right? Goddamn, the orange is from India or southern India. I mean Asia. My bad. Southern Asia, right? Like, even the apple. You feel me? So you got all these different fruits, but that don't mean we don't have a pit fruit. You know, a mango is a part of the pit fruits. You feel me? So we have pit fruits, but I can't tell you which one is definitely from here. You feel me? I haven't done that research, but I know there's so many different pit fruits that hey, maybe it's a particular one that is indigenous to America. But I'm not like Dr. Said we're gonna tell you to eat one continent food. Man, I eat food from everywhere around the world, especially fruits and vegetables. You feel me? Shit, bring it on.
Would you think I agree with you what you're saying also? Would you think he possibly said that in context of maybe there are lesser hybrid fruits and vegetables in Africa, maybe?
I mean, he wasn't wrong with what he was saying. He was saying that number one, he was taking the stance that we from Africa, and he's saying that people need to eat, from where they're really from. Like that region is designed to nurture you. You feel me?
Right.
So he's saying that that we're Africans. So he's saying, hey, we should only eat food from Africa. But of course, he was in Honduras doing that. You feel me? But at the same time, there's a lot of African fruits over here. There's a lot of American fruits over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The world ain't crazy. We crazy. You feel me? We be hating. It's like, we literally cutting our hands just to smite our own face. You feel me? It's like I want to punch this nigga so bad. Let me cut my hand off and slap the shit out of him. But I'm talking about myself. You feel me? I ain't gonna get nowhere like that, man. That's literally what black people, Aboriginal people, all the mulatto races, everything that fall under being Moorish. This is what we doing to each other.
Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%. This program ever try to reach the youth? I think it's each parent's responsibility to teach their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this isn't like a easy subject that you just go learn from somebody telling you, so you would have to get it to teach them. Like you would have to get them around someone who actually grasps the concept of it to be able to teach it to them.
Right. Okay. So.
Yeah, this ain't child's play.
Yeah, I think what she means is this program, that the Tazz Yahsinni Show and the stuff that we talk about, or these subjects, is it getting out there to the youth? In my personal opinion,
they're not gonna read it.
Even if it's not doing it through here, through our YouTube channels, I'm seeing in the TikTok movement and the youth, I'm hearing them talk about Egypt a lot. I hear them talking about ascending. I hear them talking about the ancestors. Yeah, I hear them talking about being gods and goddesses.
You gotta understand how TikTok work though. Whatever you watch, they're gonna start showing you more and more and more and more of that.
Take the emphasis off of TikTok. Let's just say, as a person who's been conscious for a hell of a long time, sitting back in the cut, waiting for the rest of the world to wake up. Listen, they're woke now, is what I want to say. So is it reached in the youth? Yes, the youth is generating this shit right now because they know they've been lied to now. They know about the Council of Nicaea. They know about Jesus. They know the truth. They know about religion. They know if they're not flat earth, they're at least looking at concave earth or hollow earth. There's questioning is the thing.
Yeah.
Once you start questioning your reality, then you bring the power back to yourself to change your reality. Is it happening? I promise you, I'm seeing it, I'm loving it, and I'm feeling like my work is done. What I set out to do when I first started, I already see it came into fruition and it's thriving now. So what we're doing tonight, still waking you up on shit that the government won't tell you because it's not their job. It's our job to bring this truth to our people. And that's what we're doing. Are we reaching the youth? We're going to find out. It's up to you who's in here and know we speaking truth to share it with your people. Yeah. That's how we're going to reach the youth if we're not already. But my word, I say we're reaching the youth. I say my nephew is the youth.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, this ain't child's play. Like,
it's not.
We not even reaching the minorities, because mine does mean child, and they ain't calling most of y'all that for no reason, because it's a mentality. You feel me? So this that childlike mentality, y'all 80-year-old youth, and we have not reached y'all yet. You know what I'm saying?
Cognitive dissonance. It's gonna be hard to snatch the 80-year-olds, but can we snatch a 20-year-old or a 35-year-old?
Man, look, I tell my kids, the same people, like my son in high school, I say the same people that's immature in your school, they're gonna be that way when they my age, man. I promise you. You feel me? So you gotta be different early. You know what I mean? You got to be, man, like they say, you can't teach an old dog new trick. So you better see that young dog doing some tricks, man. You know what I'm saying? And or he's gonna be a stalemate.
I'm saying, I see sheeple. I see a lot of sheeple. Well, I see a whole bunch of sheeple that's woke. Now, 10 years ago, they wasn't even thinking about studying or researching anything.
Yeah.
Today,
it's a lot of community
poetry. They putting it to poetry. They putting it to music. They doing phenomenal things. Like Shawn told me, like he feel like he powerful.
I feel like it's a superpower. Yeah. But like I'm seeing it too. I know it's one agency that's going around states and they're setting up actual republics. I can't remember the name of them, but I know they're doing that. There's these other people. There are attorney generals that are turned into private attorney generals and helping people on the private side. So it definitely is stuff being moved. I feel like a big part of the stuff that you're seeing came from Trump being in office.
Yeah,
you want to about him, he's a business. So
Trump coinciding with the age of Aquarius coming in.
That's all I'm like, feel how you want. Business is business, and when you live by that principle, it's all business, it's not personal. Then the color of your skin don't matter. Like Trump came in and changed a lot of stuff. I don't like him as a person. Like I would never kick it with him. I would never see him or talk to him. But when he was in office, he made money available to a lot of people. So you gotta kind of start watching, because a lot of this stuff is public notice. It is public notice, but they don't put it where you're going to look for it. They're going to put it somewhere you got to seek it out. It's a bunch of stuff. The IRS finna go away. They finna get rid of the IRS. So there's a bunch of stuff going on that if you're not like looking at it, because they go publish on their website. If you're not reading it on their website, then you just don't know what's going on.
Yep. Because we know that money goes straight to the Pope, and the Pope has basically put an end to all commerce. It just hasn't ended yet, because they can't just snatch the rug from up in there, from up under every nation overnight.
Yep.
But he did shut down every corporation.
Yep. They just go switch everything to fake digital money, and this is gonna be a transfer.
They're gonna hide. They're gonna be able to hide it. It's gonna be like the black market.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like the main thing is to stop people from knowing what negotiable instruments is. Most people have never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Negotiable instrument is money. Like that's value. So if I can change the form to something completely different that's unrecognizable, most people ain't gonna be able to put two and two together. Your application is money. It's the same thing as a promissory note. It's the same thing as a Federal Reserve note. It's the same thing as a dollar bill. If you got a loan that says $30,000 on it, that's $30,000 right there. You just don't know. They raided Trump. They're not gonna be able to fuck with Trump. Like they're doing little mosquito bites to this man. Like his stuff is already set up. Like he would have been in jail if they was able to send him to jail. They've been coming. They've been trying. Like he would have been locked up. They're not gonna be able to really do anything to him, but do little minor. They raided a house that he wasn't even in. Like you're not finna raid his house because you would have been in some shit if you would have busted in on his house. He raided a house that he wasn't even in.
He couldn't even be impeached correctly 2 times.
Yeah, he got his stuff set up. It's very little they can do to him. He rich and he got his stuff set up. So
Jordan.
All that's just for the news.
Let me holler at Gordon Christians for a sec. I understand, and you're more than welcome to be a guest on my show and say whatever you like. Peace and love to you too. I know who you are. You've been on here before. I would love to hear from you. I would love to do a one-on-one and hear your whole version and you explain it. And the people that are still sleeping, wake them up. That's what Arnola is talking about. Are we waking people up? Or are we just talking?
I think when my mom went on her birthday, Pauline went, and I was asking her if she was gonna tell Pauline, and she was like, "No, Pauline ain't ready yet." It's kind of hard to tell a CPA that you only know one part of your job, and there's a whole nother
section. And that's not the one.
Yep, and she's gonna take that.
I wondered if you guys were skipping over that, and I already knew the answers, so I ain't even bother to ask.
Yeah, she was like, I don't think she's ready, and I was like, I would have to talk to Pauline or somebody who could actually quote the laws and pull it up, and this is what it is. This is what you've been missing. Like, this is it for her to get it. And I feel like if you can't do that, a lot of people is just gonna dismiss it.
People will get it and still dismiss it.
Yeah, it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And it is.
It is. It's the American dream. They've been telling you the whole life.
See, I was up on this a while back, right? Like at least 10, 11 years, right? But the Moors that I was with were the ones that everybody really looked up to because we thought they knew more. They was always like telling us not to do certain stuff, like, oh, don't authenticate the birth certificate. You know what I mean? Don't do this. We don't deal with UCC. I'm like, hold on, I deal in commerce. What you tripping? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't learned this shit not to use it. You feel me? And not to let them keep using it against me.
Yep. See, that was when I first got into it. That's what everybody was like, you don't need to read that. That doesn't pertain to us and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it don't pertain to us, but it pertains to them. This is how they need to move. So once I got that understanding, it was like, bro, you can't tell me. I had to stop listening to everybody. Don't know what they're talking about, and everybody gets a different understanding. So I had to get to a point where if you can't prove to me what you're saying, then I'm not even finna listen to you, bro.
Like, anything.
Like, anything. You gotta tell me, especially something like this. Pull up a law, pull up a code, pull up something I can read that says I can do this or something of the sort, or I can't even trust you no more. Because I listened to a bunch of people that felt my mind was bullshit, doing different stuff that you don't have to do. It's not as hard as they make it look. Like,
it's not. Listen, the nature is simple. You can watch it and you can mimic it. You can see what's happening in nature. Anything that's complicated, man made it.
Mm-hmm.
The white man.
Stuff. It just takes a desire to want to understand. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Moors are like we famous for simplifying anything and everything. You feel me? That's why I said when it's complicated, that's their shit.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like even the way they teach us how to do math, like you'll notice that so-called Africans were doing complex math with just a couple sticks and some stones. You feel me? And we could do those same kind of formulas now just by how they show us Roman numerals or whatever. We just not instead of putting a slant, we need to be adding some dots. It's just crazy. What I'm getting at is it's so many different ways of coming up with formulas, but the way they teach us is so elongated. It's that's why I say micromanaging. Like, it's gonna take a lot of time to do their way. They made up so many extra steps that you could skip right over and get the same damn answer.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy.
That's it. And they don't teach us nothing about numerology, which was a language older than the alphabet. So while we can't understand other concepts that make things easier and simpler, we always got to go through. You know, I'm not doing no motherfucking 2-page algebraic expression.
Yeah. Put it like this, since we got it backwards. We put a word in a gematria calculator and we get numerals, right? Well, really, every letter has a numerical value. So really, we supposed to put the numbers in and get a spelling. You feel me? Like, start to get math, so to speak. It's like saying, okay, this star just gave me a right angle at this degree, and you put that in the calculator, and it's going to tell you something. It's not going to just tell you numbers. Those numbers are telling you, you know what I'm saying? It's telling you numerals at the same time. You feel me? So that's really where the messages from the stars came from, and we ain't gonna do the math. It's like a computer code that we won't study.
Yeah, we won't. We're not going to. We don't want to. And we need to, but we don't know that we need to. We rather just suffer.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what really scare them. If you tell them this is what the prophets or the whoever, the mighty man of the Bible, this is what they were doing. Oh, hell no, I ain't doing no astrology then. I'm not gonna measure nothing. I don't want to know. No, I want to be ignorant. Because people want to hate as soon as you say Bible. Oh, this is what all Bible is. All religions are based on astrotheology. The same thing I'm telling you right now. Oh no, in that case, no. I hate religion. You're not gonna give me no astrotheology. Everybody's just got God damn. You know what I mean?
If that's true, then you're not reading the Bible, so you can stop holding that and carrying that every day. You're not reading it because the Bible is all about astrology. Everything from the first sentence, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's astrology, nigga. Right there. Start from the first sentence. No, don't do nothing else. Study the heavens and the earth.
Hey, and he never said the earth and the heavens.
No, right. It's rank. It's in rank.
Yep. First come.
Yeah, exactly.
First thing first.
They did. Ask a Christian if God made the sun on day 4, and the first thing he ever said was, "Let there be light." Where the fucking light come from? The sun hadn't been invented yet. Oh, never mind. Don't answer that. We can move back to the commerce games. It's obvious that Shawn is scripted on certain lots of fucking areas of world truth and what we're talking about and trying to get out. Like my sister asked, are we taking this to our brother and telling them twice? No. I had to do that because me and Mike was born on the same day, August 29th, Virgo. But anyway, are we taking this to our brother and giving him the information? No, we're trying to sell it.
Yeah, a lot of people
trying to sell it.
Yeah, and don't get that confused that the people on stage are. We saying that's what our kind of doing to each other.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So if we can get over that hump, then if we can for real, why the preachers in the church aren't telling you that you're great and divine?
Man, my problem with the church is every member of the church should also be paying no taxes. You know what I mean? Like, we supposed to put out, hey, give me a card or something. When I leave this mother sucker, I don't pay taxes either.
You know how to do that? The church can do that for his members.
Exactly.
They
just don't.
The church in my opinion, the church should cover a lot of their members' expenses. You can do it tax free.
Yeah,
They give
they're
you
supposed to.
that money, like they give you that money religiously. Like you should be easing their life.
Instead, we giving them money.
Yeah. Do you know? Hey, if that's the right track, do you know how many people would have stayed on the right track if they would have got they bills taken care of? You know what I mean? For real.
Did y'all see that story of that preacher that got robbed for like $1 million in jewelry?
Yeah.
And this nigga was Fendi down and driving and
400 grand worth of jewelry, son. It was buku money.
Like, how are you a preacher, bro? And you really call yourself a man of God?
Recently?
Huh?
The collection plate had like $500,000. He had at least 400 grand on his neck.
Like he sell courses, he sell everything. You profiting off God's name, which is why I don't like a lot of preachers, because you gotta incorporate. It's a business.
Yeah.
Most churches are businesses. This man be Fendi down, bro. And I know you got some people hurting who can't pay their rent in your church.
Yep.
I don't think any preacher should ever be rich. Like, you got too many people to help with that money, bro.
We're supposed to break him down. Like
man, you be comfortable. You're supposed to live comfortable, but you ain't be ever. No preacher should ever be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Like,
if he get money like that, I want to see him get hit by Ray Lewis every Sunday.
Yep.
God damn it.
Get that to your community, bro.
You know, with no helmet, no shoulder pads. Bam. Every Sunday, I'm gonna be there. Watch that game.
Everybody like TD Jakes, and I ain't got nothing against TD Jakes, but I feel the same way. How can you call yourself a true man of God and you hoarding money?
Yeah, he a businessman to the core. Now, if you're looking for one of those inspirational type of people to help you motivate you to start your business, well, he's the man.
Yeah.
But other than that, he really ain't. I don't know if you can consider that shit religion. He be throwing Jesus in there. But boy, all he really do is give his business savvy. You feel me? My granddad had 52 workers in the 60s, you know. And for a man to be able to do that, he do all that kind of, he be bragging his ass off. But, you know, he come from a line of people who done it, and now he doing it too.
Yeah. And I feel like with our culture, you kind of gotta show out a little bit. People ain't really gonna believe you.
Yeah, they ain't gonna listen. You ain't shit.
Yo.
Who are you? Oh, nigga, I'm the Jeffersons over there in Cincinnati that started the NAACP chapter in that, you know, I'm just saying, you feel me? Like, motherfucker got to be able to talk about something like that and big money. If it ain't money, if it don't make dollars to these niggas, man, it don't make no sense.
But I ain't never seen the word banking broke down like that. That sounds like how it's supposed to be. Banking investments, banking laws. Equity.
Oh yeah, what I had up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let me go find
that. I will believe it, because I don't think the Bible is a religion.
Here's the other one right here. Boom.
I think the Bible is I think the Bible is common law, and just the Roman Empire pushed it as religion. Because their religion is turn the other cheek, and it's meant to subdue and meant for you to not fight back. So they push that on the white people and the black people.
Man, you can go in you can go into court and fight with the Bible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? For one,
legal document.
Yep, ecclesiastical law and all that. But for one, like basically people could add that into their affidavit. If this is what they saying and they God saying, the Bible says on. They can literally add it to the affidavit, just like getting case law. Well, I'm standing on this case law XYZ. You know, it says I had a right to travel. Well, I'm gonna go also to the Bible and state what God said. Yep. And I'm not playing with y'all motherfuckers. You know, but you do it lawfully though. You put it literally in the paperwork on your affidavit.
People don't understand the power of an affidavit, man. People understood the power of an affidavit, they would be doing them all the time. I got some affidavits.
Exactly. Affidavit ain't nothing but a notarized letter.
Yep.
You feel me? Our people.
It's under their rules. It's it's the truth. It's unrebutted truth. If you don't rebut my affidavit with an affidavit, then my affidavit stands as the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in any disagreement or any contract, anything like that, an affidavit, if they don't rebut that shit with another affidavit, then that's the truth governing those facts. Like legally. Like you can put it in any case. You can do whatever you want to with that, John. Just people don't.
Okay, Shawn, according to the redemption manual, and the other how I clobbered every bureaucratic blah blah blah. When you go to court and they say, "Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" Your answer should always be no. Because what is the truth? What is the truth? No, you can say, I promise to tell my truth. Because once you promise to tell the truth, now you just put yourself in a contract and in their jurisdiction to tell the truth. Okay, so all somebody got to do is bring a professional along to refute that that's the truth. And boom, you're caught lying on the stand. Now, if you say, I don't swear to tell the truth. I I promised to tell my truth. You've negotiated that contract that you was getting ready to verbally commit to, right? You've negated that by saying no, and then putting your negotiating part of the instrument in, saying I promise to tell my truth. Well, my truth belongs to me, and I cannot tell a lie to myself. But the truth, I don't know nothing about that. And now I can be proven to be lied by some professional taking a stand, just saying that I lied because now I'm in their fucking commerce games, right? Listen, when I tell, this is how Martha Stewart got convicted. She didn't get convicted for insider trading. She got convicted for lying because she raised her hand and swore to tell the truth. Okay, now you've been proven that you lie according to the truth. No, Martha, tell them I swear to tell my truth, and then she would have never went to jail. She got caught for lying because she don't know the system, as most people don't, even though they got the riches, they don't have all the knowledge. Listen, these secret societies, they ain't giving out no knowledge to no whole bunch of mofos. They're not. That's making it so if that 1% is ruling the world and got all the secrets, the Vatican, whatever you want to say that they're at in the library, the rest of those 99 mofos, other than the 5%ers who was doing some fucking work to find out truth, those other 85% of people are all on the same page and they're sheeple and they don't know anything and they don't just go read. They don't look for why. They don't do any of that. And those are the majority. And this is how the 1% can feel gooder than a motherfucker because as long as we're not shaking and touching those 85% of the people that's holding them in their power, then they got it going on.
Yeah.
Don't think they're not monitoring how many people are waking up via TikTok, social media. Yeah. They are, and they know, okay, you're a danger now. You got 100,000 followers. Yeah, you're a danger. You don't have to have a whole bunch of followers. Just tell hella truth. Just tell hella truth.
Yeah. I got a kind of a different outtake on the penalty of perjury. I enjoy taking the oath because if I take the oath, you got to take the oath. You just got to learn how to control the truth, right? So the penalty of perjury, when you take the actual oath, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, whatever, that puts you under the penalty of perjury. At that point in time, you control the truth. Before you go to court, you should already have a signed affidavit registered and put on the record as the truth and put into your criminal case. So now your truth is the truth.
That's right. That's right. And
now you don't even have to say nothing. You could just be like, refer to the letter or refer to the affidavit.
Don't register and record correctly. You're right.
Like, yeah, you gotta when you understand that your private stuff, you control your private stuff. Everything is based off consent. an expert can't really prove private information. You weren't there. You didn't see
right.
it. Right? You weren't a part of this. You're talking about substances that doesn't have anything to do with this, so you're an invalid witness. Once you start learning how to deal with that stuff, you can get majority of that shit tossed out. You shouldn't really even have to go to court.
The court should be tossing you out because they already see.
Majority of the time, if you put an affidavit of truth in sworn under the penalty of perjury and get it notarized and run it on the record and then put it inside your actual court case, that court case will go away majority of the time.
Hey, bro, I was just gonna add a minute ago when we said something about affidavits. But matter of fact, it's a brother on here, the brother Loyal. He's an ex police officer. He got a YouTube channel, and I was up there on this panel, and he literally said straight up that all we need to basically have a form of identification is to have it notarized. You feel me? So if we create these forms ID and we literally get them notarized, like we just said about an affidavit, it stands as fact.
It's an affidavit identification.
Yeah, can't be refuted nor rebutted.
It's called the ID Act or something. The ID Act tells you exactly what you need on a document for it to be recognized from a federal standpoint as an ID. You can make your ID. You just go get registered, get it ran on the register of deed to make it public knowledge, so anyone who searches your information can see it, and then you got your own ID that you made.
Right. Yes. Make your own ID. And if you do have a driver's license, tell them you lost it. Go back down there, retake the picture, and when you resign, put your under prejudice or UCC or agent shit right there on the ID. So when the officer do
get an ID,
show it to him. Show it to him.
Get an ID. I run strictly off passport card. I don't have a driver's license. I don't need that, officer.
For those who want to like
identification purposes.
If you want to be
the passport card really can do. The passport card is going to do everything that your ID can do, right? But with a passport, you can get a passport has 5 different stars. You can get American national passport, which will take you out of the jurisdiction on a lot of the stuff. So if you're operating from a passport, it'll be a lot stronger than the actual ID. So I don't use my ID. I always got my passport card with me. That's all I run with. If you ask me for it, here go. This is it, and I'm getting ready to change it because I put in my my certificate. I put in my application for my U.S. non-citizen national status probably like a week or 2 ago, and I want to be a foreign diplomat.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been reading up stuff, and I think you got to form your own nation.
I would say you're not gonna lose no like you're not gonna lose no standing in this country or anything.
You're not.
You're still gonna have basically dual citizenship. It's just
I want the foreign one because if I go overseas, I want to have the same type of respect from your police force and your government as
by being a national. Yeah.
Like I don't want y'all fucking with me. So I'm waiting to hear. I'm waiting for him to send me my shit back. Once I get that, then I'm gonna change my nationality to Indian.
So-called Indian. I know what you mean. Or whatever tribe. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sure. And
then I gotta find out because my goal is diplomatic immunity. I gotta find out the best, easiest way of getting that. Do I have to form a nation? Can I just expatriate? Can I just register as a foreign agent? Because they got a foreign agent registration act that teaches you how to register your foreign agency. So can I just register as my foreign agency and then register for my passport? So I haven't really had time to just really dig into that yet. That's going to be like the next thing on my list.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ways to do it, though.
Like that's what I want, because I know once I get that, your whole family get it. So
like me, I pushed it on them. I told them I'm a Moor, and as far as like you said,
that's kind of how
as far as being an American national, that's the only thing I signed. Like I always signed as an American national.
That's what I said. I sent my Secretary of State an affidavit basically laying out everything, saying how I'm not. It says in there I renounce my citizenship, and this is the declaration of my my national. I put in the code saying that if you deny me of this, like I can take action against you. Like I put all that and I sent it to him. Certified mail. I'm just waiting to hear back.
Yeah, basically, if they don't answer back, they just acquiesce, and they're not gonna answer back unless you definitely they property.
No, he got to send me something. If he don't send me something, I'm putting the lien on him. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you asked for a response.
Yeah, basically. They got to send. You can. It's 8 U.S. code something. It's an application that they'll send you a certificate, kind of like your birth certificate. They'll send you a certificate that says you're a U.S. national, and either the Attorney General can issue it, and your Secretary of State can issue it. And it's really just you making your case. You send them affidavit saying this is who I am, and sending whatever evidence you have showing that this is you, and they can send it back. Like they really can't deny you for it.
Yeah, I hate when they say U.S. national, but I'm definitely an American national.
Yeah, American national. It's just both of them. I just try to say
that. It's times the only choice will be U.S. national.
Yeah,
and I'll still jump on it. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll mark other and write my shit in, like because like y'all they be playing too many games and too many tricks.
Yeah, that's why I hate on the computer. They don't give you, you can't write nothing.
Yeah, that's what I hate. That's why I don't like electronic signing, because I can't write without recourse on it. You gotta like scribble it.
Yep. Yep. I hate that shit.
I hate that shit too.
Because you can't undersign nothing, like you saying. You feel me? Like all they want you to do is put an X. Click X. Click. Nah, man. Hell nah.
That's why they doing it.
Yep.
They're doing it purposely like that. That's why just once they give you the instrument, just transfer that junk. Transfer right back to you. Like there you go. You can have it back. You can take that obligation. And if you try to sue me, I'm gonna put this document inside the court case. It's gonna go away because you're gonna lose. But yeah, this has been a pretty good one. Everybody should learn a little something. I did look up U.S. persons. I think I pulled up what a person was earlier. Basically, just it's a natural person or a corporation. It's a natural person or a corporation or a trust or an estate or basically any type of corporate entity whatsoever is considered a person.
Okay. About the moon, I wrote about things in the sky that go boom. I wrote about death, I wrote about life. I wrote in the morning, afternoon, and at night. I constantly search for new ideas. I talk to my elders, my friends, and my peers. I study astronomy, history, and religion. My analytical mind is constantly on a mission, struggling and striving for the perfect poem, bracing myself for the perfect brainstorm. The more that I write, the more that I note. My best poem yet is yet to be wrote.